Hey everybody, and welcome to a new
Uh,
stream.
yeah, of course.
I did it again.
No,
No, this
okay,
time
I
I didn't
will
push
interrupt
the.
you.
Yeah,
Okay,
this time I
and
didn't push
it's time.
the. No, this time I didn't push the buttons on the
But you
stream
didn't
deck.
mute?
No, yeah. At least it was only for a few seconds this time, not most of the
Oh.
stream. But anyway, yeah, everybody, welcome to Yava's Corner. Yes, brand new,
Tragic.
brand new named. I actually have to thank Hannah over at the Rayside for this name because I asked, "Hey, what should I name this thing?" at one point, and this was one of the names. I'm like, Yava's Corner works, and I like it. I like chillaxing with Yava too. We could do that as a night stream, as chillaxing. This one will be Yava's Corner. But I am here to discuss games and just the history of games and how we kind of got brought up with games. We are joined by Katakarthik.
Forget what I said last time. Oh yeah, I still want that candy you promised me, Yava.
Yeah, sorry, there's no candy.
Dang it.
I just roped you in, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
We are joined by Spaghetti Yeti.
I'm kind of against, like, here against my will, you know.
Well,
I
you
also like
have to be
spaghetti.
here.
Yeah, I like spaghetti. I mean, that's why I'm the Spaghetti Yeti. 122, that one. Yeah.
Then
All right.
we are also here. You know him. You also know Katic Karthik, so but you know Straxwell from a few of the streams.
What is going on, Yava Trooper Corps? Super excited to be here, as always, Yava. Thanks for having me.
Always appreciated, especially whenever I force all you against your will.
That's right.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now about
Against
the
my will,
candy thing,
yes.
I remember you mentioned a check to say what I just said, so
Oh yeah,
Wait.
there's no checks.
You guys are getting candy?
I knew it.
Yeah, money.
Yeah. So
Wait, you get paid?
Wait, you're getting paid? What?
Where's that meme at? Where that guy?
Yeah. You're all getting
Darn.
paid?
I don't know what show it's from, but he's like, "Wait, you guys are getting paid?"
I also meant
That's-
to start something with a certain somebody today. Of course, Babu is here. You can see Babu everywhere, of course. You know, you got a nice little. You got to go up
Indeed.
underneath his little thing and like hit the button.
Rob has it on
Hey.
his desk. He just reaches over and strokes it gently. He's like, "Love you, Babu."
Hey, Babu, look at him. He's so he's so cute. He's got his little helmet thingy.
I mean, if you had a child, I imagine it would look like that.
Oh,
Actually,
Be awesome.
I could see it. I could
Mhm.
see it. Bobby, he has your eyes. Yava, yeah, that one.
yeah. What the? It's okay. Most people know my name anyway, so I don't care. But yes, this is Babu. I have a lot of Babu. As I said in the last stream while I was muted, I have a lot of Babus. And yes, I am freshly groomed. I don't look like a hobo no more. So,
I like the hobo look.
Yeah, the
It's
hobo
appropriate.
looks kind of professional.
oh, fine. I'll go back to the hobo look.
Yeah,
Give
you
it a
look
few months.
unprofessional now.
Just give it a few months, okay? Just give me a few months, okay? I just see
Wait,
how
you're
it
clean
is.
shaven?
No, not clean. I will
Baby
never go back.
face?
No, I will
Oh,
not
okay.
be baby faced.
Then why
I
do you
did-
make the people in the core shave? Like I'd like to have beards.
Well, I make all of you shave just because it's funny.
Oh. Oh, okay.
But yeah, we will be discussing some games and stuff. So, kind of one of my earliest memories I can really fully think of with games was playing the Sega Genesis on our father's on a counter. He had it on his counter. We were playing Sega Genesis, and I remember playing Lion King on there. That was some fun stuff. That was
I don't like it.
Never played the Sega Genesis.
That game
Sega
was hard as
Genesis-
all get up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah.
you
What was
figured
it?
out how easy it was.
What was
growing
it?
up,
The
we would we'd sneak on Sega, and yeah, it was a good time. I was probably the least best at the games, I should say, because well, obviously I'm the youngest. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just remember trying to jump and always falling in the like water in that Lion King part. The second level.
Are you talking about? Oh yeah.
Yeah, the second level where you have to
I Can't
jump
Wait
on the
to Be
giraffes'
King.
heads. Yeah, I can't wait to be king. You just can't.
Then he'd watch me play it and just immaculately get through it
Yeah.
and beat it in an
Yeah.
hour because I hogged it all day.
Yep.
I'd be jealous. But anyway, yeah, what I was trying to say is that we would sneak to play sometimes. Brothers would be brothers. It's like, what are you doing on there?
You do it on my Sega.
And then you would specifically Sonic. Sonic was
That was my baby.
a hell of a blast. And I remember one time. I think did we save over your game? Can't
I
remember.
think you did,
Strax.
and I
I
wanted
think
to scream.
yeah, there was a good time. I think I saved it over with a Knuckles gameplay, but I could never get past again. It's always the second level, the water level in Sonic
Mhm.
3. And oh my god. Oh my gosh. Drowned.
Yeah, that whole countdown. Yeah, that whole countdown during Sonic, that was Sonic and Knuckles 3. Because we
And
played with, because that's back whenever you had an expansion for a game, you just
Mhm.
hooked it up into another cartridge, and there you go. Now you
Yeah, the
could
double stack.
hook other games up to the cartridge for Sonic and Knuckles, but you'd only play the bonus, the little ball rounds where you had to collect. You had to collect all the balls, or little blue balls. You had to collect them all.
Ah.
You collected them all, and you could. That's how you got the Chaos Emeralds.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just remember you could plug that in and just that was your expansion for games. So it
but
gave
but
like your nice cool expansion to the game.
Yeah, that
in
was
all
early
hon-
too.
yeah, in all honesty, I was just mainly I watched. I enjoyed watching, especially because I sucked at games for most of my life. I mean, I
Yeah.
still kind of suck. I just play on single player or story modes because, let's face it, when I go online and I attack somebody in like Call of Duty or something, I'm screwed. I'm not
Yeah.
going to win. I already know that. I am not capable of being victorious in video
know,
games like my
right.
brothers. Let's just face it. So I'll sit on games and I'll be on medium maybe, and yeah, don't make fun. Yeah, medium, so I can at least enjoy some difficulty and enjoy the game at the same time. But that's just how I am.
Hmm. Oh, I
Mhm.
remember all the days of trying to sneak whatever games, even if it was on PlayStation or whatnot, trying to play the games without trying to play Pokemon on the Game Boy and stuff, without trying to
Yeah.
save over Strax's games. That was fun.
Mhm.
So playing
We
games
had to
growing
share.
up with brothers. If anybody in chat or in the future just comment on this, if you have siblings where you were trying to play a game but they were just kind of like you weren't allowed to touch it because you were an irresponsible
Mhm.
younger child. It made sense.
Yeah,
So
it was
I
my
was
Yeah.
sacred. That was my sacred space, my sacred getaway.
Yeah.
You could not touch it.
yeah, so
So
I would do that on Pokemon games. I would do that. I would go in and I'd have to be very careful. I'd try to make it as far as I could. I could not save. Try to make it as far as I could until
yeah, I actually remember getting to the electric gym master, and I just remember being sad one day because I had to not save it, and uh, brother got home after some extravagant event. I forget what event you were doing. I don't know if it was like a band related thing or whatever, but I just remember having to get off, and made me real sad.
Mine,
Yeah, yours. Hey, you know what? That's
mine.
the older brothers. The old, yeah, but growing up, we had to share. We had to share a Game Boy, or we had to share certain things. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, it wasn't. Well, it was sharing, but it was Tim or myself. Yeah, Tim watched, and
Yep.
uh, and then I would remember you guys. I don't know if anybody who's listening actually remembers the game Rogue Trip. That game was a blast. I enjoyed watching that. I played a few times with the Strax older brother and Yava. I forget who I actually beat it with. I know you two actually played it together most of the time,
mm,
Yeah.
and I think I remember mostly what the flying saucer guy
Mhm.
and
You on that code?
yes, flying saucer and the helicopter guy. I think you guys used.
I
And
used the mouse superhero guy.
you
Scoundrels beware.
yeah, you mainly used him.
yeah, I
And
used the
then
Elvis impersonator.
I
you
was the
did.
I was the truck, I think. Before
Yeah,
that,
Yeah.
but that was mainly before we had got all the unlockables with the cheats and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah. Putting
Mhm.
in the cheats for that game, you could unlock Goliath, which was the steamroller. You could
Mhm.
unlock what was it, that big tank thing
It's like
that
night
had
shares. I
Nightshade?
can't
Yeah.
remember.
You could unlock was it wasn't a Black Hawk helicopter.
But it was a
It was one of
helicopter.
those
Yeah.
it was one of those like battle ready helicopters. I'm not too familiar with a lot of that kind of stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
you had that one, then you had the alien, which was
Mhm.
all fun. But
yeah,
then you had where you can unlock the last boss vehicle,
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, but you
yeah.
could only do it in challenge mode. You could only
That's
do it
right.
in challenge mode.
All right. So
Well, on one level, yeah. That's
so
right.
here's an idea. Hey, Kata, are you familiar with Rogue Trip?
So bring up that I'm a little bit familiar. I played with Yava
All right, so I got
back in the day. But did he tell you that he found a PS1 copy at the Happy Valley Con?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if he
Yeah.
tried it out yet or not.
No, not yet. I need to. Whenever Strax is in town, he's gonna help me get everything set up on my video card so I can finally start doing stuff off of PlayStation.
Nice.
Because that'd be awesome to play those games to you, all of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah, that was a lot
anyway,
of fun.
here's a little fun little game we can play with that. Whenever you pick the actual character, do you remember what they say?
Scoundrels
No.
beware!
That's
was
right.
Yes.
Oh,
fun.
ho, ho.
Oh,
Was the Elvis guy?
You want mustard on that?
hot
I
enough for
love
you?
the smell of anthrax in the morning.
Hot enough for you?
And then ambulance guy.
Yep.
He just like laugh. It
What was the
crazy.
punch bug guy? The wrestler.
I'll
Oh,
put the hurt on him,
Yeah.
or something like that.
And
Yeah.
then
It was
you got the farm girl, that really attractive redhead farm girl that was fighting the
Oh, she
that
shot
had-
chickens at
Bok-
you.
we called her Bok Bok girl.
Yeah, Buck
Yeah.
Girl.
That's right. I remember her.
Yeah.
And then there was also the Barbie car girl or whatever. The
Yeah,
rat,
the punch bug.
Yeah, we called her Pinky.
Did she shoot a chihuahua at you?
Something like
Oh,
that.
No, it
I
wasn't
can't
a chihuahua.
remember.
I can't remember what she shot at you. Like, each one of them had their own specials. Like the one that Strax used, it was
Yeah, saw
it was
wheels.
like a saw wheel, so it would go up like this and go. Gink, gink, gink. So picture what was that game? Twisted Metal. Picture Twisted
Yeah.
Metal.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel this is better. In my opinion, this is better. I've played
I
some
agree.
Twisted Metals, but yeah, this one to me was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I
so.
agree. Here, how about this?
I just remember the only song they were able to get on the game was "The Rascal King" by the Mighty Mighty Bosses.
That's
Yes.
right.
And it just kept playing on repeat.
Yep.
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 They had a couple different songs, but that one specifically I remember.
Yeah.
And
That-
I finally found it like at the age of 30, maybe 29-ish. And I was just like, wow, it's legit a real song. And it was
Yeah.
pretty good. Their rendition was good too.
Yeah, it's cool how that just introduced. So the whole object of that game. So whenever you're going around in the campaign for it, you have to collect their tourists, and then you have to bring them to photo ops. So the photo op would be, what's the memorial in Washington? The
The monolith, the Washington Monument.
Yeah, Washington
that's what-
Monument. You could take so you'd find stuff like that and take pictures next to it. So kind of
Mhm.
big like name stuff, you would take pictures of it while being
And then
attacked
blow it
by while being attacked by other cars.
Mhm.
So
And then you
that-
could blow them up.
Yep, you could blow them up. So the object was to eliminate all the cars or to collect all the photo ops, and you won, and you would have that money.
Mhm.
I can't remember what the money went for, but yeah, it was a pretty fun Twisted Metal, I guess, spinoff, or unless it was not a spinoff, or what would it be?
It's
I mean,
kind of just like an
It's
alternative
similar.
version.
Yeah.
It's
It's a-
like
yeah.
you weren't ripping off Twisted Metal or anything.
Yeah,
No,
they're trying
no.
to get out.
You
No.
fought with.
No, but it
They just
definitely
took-
worked.
Let's face it, they just took Twisted Metal and made a better game. I mean,
They took
Twisted
the
Metal,
concept.
Yeah, it's popular.
Yeah.
They took the concept, yeah,
Yeah,
and I think it was much more involved when it came to like story and stuff, didn't it? I can't really remember Twisted Metal that much, but I
Hmm.
remember playing Twisted Metal, and
Mhm.
I just
Twisted Metal
enjoyed
was
Rogue.
just straight up just
Yep.
killing your enemies.
Yeah.
You didn't have to.
yeah.
I remember the bonus character sayings too. Like you had the chopper used to say, Roger, 219er, clear for covert takeoff, which didn't hear it from me.
Yep.
And then the alien would, I think he said, prime directive my waste port. I guess that was a censored way of saying, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So yeah, it's clever stuff like that. Let's go with Katakarthik, since we really didn't grow up with you too much during the video game time. What was your first introduction
Yeah.
to video games?
My first introduction was going over to my uncle's house, and they just got a PS1, and him and my cousin were playing Resident Evil, the first one,
Nice.
and that probably scarred me as a child. I remember after watching that, going home the next night and just having nightmares about zombies.
Now you love them.
Yeah, but now I love them. I've played all the Resident Evil series up to the village.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going back and playing the first one again since
Okay.
it's on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Both
Yeah.
the remake and the original.
Did you ever
Yeah,
play?
then I eventually got a PS1 and I got like all the platformers like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah.
Those were probably my favorite games, and then got into Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, that was so
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Good one.
yeah. I played all of those on the PS1.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's
That-
just cool, like where like all these games have gone to and whatnot. So.
But let's face it, they don't make them like they used to.
Oh
I mean,
no, games.
look like again Tony Hawk. Yeah, the first ones were good, but Tony Hawk Underground,
Mm-hmm.
man, it was so exciting. I can't believe it was this exciting just to get
Yeah.
off the board and walk around.
Yeah.
And
that's
not
my
only that,
favorite.
not only that, you could build a whole neighborhood and build a park.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty freaking cool in Underground. I think that was probably, well, personally my favorite out of that whole entire series.
Yeah.
But
I think the park building was introduced in the second one, but they just kept expanding on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and actually, tell you the truth, you remember the demo discs? I actually enjoyed
Yeah.
the
yeah,
demo
yeah.
discs.
They were fun.
I still have them. I still have most of my demo discs, at
Oh,
least from
yeah.
the PlayStation.
Yeah, because they would
demo
sell it with
disc.
other games, wouldn't they? They would like sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
attach them. What made those great though, it was just enough content to enjoy it, but enough to make you want to buy it. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I gotta complete this. Nowadays it's
Yeah.
like, oh, early access, you got the whole game, and then you're kind of bored with it when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know? But back then, yeah.
Games
Totally.
were
Yeah.
more finished.
Yeah, the one I remember, like the first one I ever remember on demo disc in particular. Do you remember that? It was it actually recently got remastered a few years ago. It's that bone guy that has the sword. and
Medieval.
Oh,
stuff.
medieval. Yeah.
Yeah,
Medieval.
that was
Yeah.
the
Was it
that
medieval?
was my
Medieval.
first memory of a demo that we had. I also
Mhm.
remember a ninja one, and then
that Ninja
actually
Gaiden?
Spyro. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden, and then Spyro was Spyro 3 to be in particular was actually before we played that. That was one of the demos that we got to play. I think it was the one where you first get into the monkey level where you have to be the monkey dude with I think he had a gun.
Yeah, a little laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
I
laser
remember
gun.
that.
That's probably the first one. But the demo disc in general, it amazes me that even like just that can even beat games today. I think. I mean, they're good games. Don't get me wrong out there, but those are just nostalgic. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
One of the PS2 demos I remember really well was the Katamari Damacy demo.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
rolling around. The object of that game was just to roll around and just keep making the ball bigger and bigger, and you would collect it off of like first it would start out you just collect it off of just random items, and you would start collecting like people and stuff. So it would just like start growing up, and then like the last level of the entire game was you were supposed to make a ball as big as the moon. And that game was just,
Yeah, you know what?
Overtake the wall.
Now I'm starting to remember that. You're right.
yeah.
I don't know how I forgot about that one.
It had the most catchy song to it too. And
I just like how I just like when you failed, your like father just like disowns you,
Yeah.
just like straight up disowns you.
Yep, you get disowned for failing. Yep.
That sounds like real life. Just kidding.
Disowned.
Yeah, but the soundtrack was just great. It's like you can't even explain it. You just have to like hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, classic.
there's even a lot of fond memories with Tomb Raider. Just before we actually go and talk about this a little more, there was one time, remember that Tomb Raider game I bought? I was so excited to have
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It was PS2, and it turned out to be a pretty crappy Tomb Raider game. But it
I
was
remember
brand
that.
new. It was brand new, like just recently released. I went to go play it, and I don't know, somewhere around the first level, it just gets to a door and it says, "This door is locked. This door is locked.
Mhm.
This door
It
is
did
locked.
it the
This door is
rest
locked.
of the
This door is
Mhm.
locked.
gameplay that
This
day.
door is
We got
They're
to
like,
notify
we're
and shut
done.
it off. We're done. We're done. It was
Yep.
Dark Angel.
Yeah, it was something dark. I remember
Tomb
that.
Raider Dark Angel, I think was what it was. And it
Yep.
was just a glitch heavy game, but like that's an example of like some games back in the day, they did come out and they had some glitches, but it was still completed and whatnot. There's been a lot of
Mhm.
errors with games nowadays, but it's enjoyable just having that nostalgia and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead over. Did we kind of go through your first introduction to games, Spaghetti?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
sort of
All right,
basically it was
so
just I was watching you guys play and
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So let's go with Strax. You're first because really I was born after you, so
Yeah.
but
He's
what
old.
was
Yeah,
your
he's the
first
oldest here.
what's
Yep.
your first introduction to video games?
All right, so I might actually kind of age myself here, but my very, very first introduction to a video game was way, way, way back when I was little, and our dad used to work on arcade machines, right? And I remember specifically he had a race game that he had brought home to work on for the company he worked on. And it was an old racing game, and you could sit in it and like you had the car and it was 3D looking, and you'd race like that. And that was really the first time I ever touched a video game. But that was when Game Boys started coming out, and it was all of the rage. And the very first game I owned was a Game Boy game, and it was Mega Man.
Oh,
It was,
I
yeah.
remember Mega Man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mega Man and then Mario 6 Golden Coins. Those
Mhm.
two specifically I remember. And in the Mega Man game, I remember that being so unbelievably hard. I had played that for hours as a kid. And then you'd have to save the password to get to the progress. It wasn't like, oh, we had memory cards back then. It was okay, you worked it till you got there. So programmers implemented, passwords to get to those levels once you got there.
yeah.
And I just remember spending hours and hours on that. And then eventually Pokemon, I remember the first time I saw Pokemon, I didn't understand what I was playing. But then I finally got it, and it was a lot of fun trying to trade with my friends. And I do remember Sega Genesis. That was a big one for me. You remember me? I was a boss at Sonic. I got
yeah.
all the stuff like that. But
Yeah, you
yeah,
still
my
are.
earliest was that.
Yeah, you
And then
still
your
are.
first your what was your first game system? Wasn't it the box, the original Game Boy?
Yeah, and I still have that with the back that has the Nintendo repair number on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was the first game I had in Mario 6 Golden Coins. And that game was also very hard. I hadn't beaten that until I was in my teens, just because
Then-
getting those coins was rough.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the Kiwi Green Nintendo Game Boy. I think it goes for like
Yep.
$100 some now.
Mhm.
I have that too, with the
Pretty
back.
pricey.
Yeah, I had
I have that.
purple Game Boy Color back in the day.
The
I did,
see-through one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
clear
had,
one?
No, I had I didn't have the clear one.
Solid.
No, Spaghetti had that one, and I think that one's worth some money now too.
Yeah, it's actually at Mom's house, but it's in bad condition.
Yeah, remember?
Sure, if weather or something got hit it, but that's probably worth like $100 some as well.
Oh yeah, remember whenever Atlantis came out? It had a Game Boy game too. You had
Oh,
that one?
Yeah,
wow.
that was-
I remember
Yeah.
that.
That was my first game
Yeah.
on the Game Boy.
Wow. That was a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it was left there too, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken.
Yeah. No, it fell. So that game actually it was left there. It fell in the recliner
Mhm.
at Maymay's house.
hmm
Yeah, it fell
Oh.
in there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, and we couldn't get it out. Well, I don't know if anybody ever retrieved it. I was pretty upset
Mhm.
about it, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
Wow.
But
Yeah. Let's play that. And I remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Boy games and
Oh yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Now
Played a lot into that.
Yeah. Now there's a game that is like one of your biggest passions. You know the lore behind. You know everything about. I know you know exactly where I'm getting to. This game is like. This is to me one of the greatest PlayStation games that I have ever watched and played myself, and I was so glad to play it. And what's the name of this game?
It is The Legend of Dragoon. You know it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that game is just awesome. Like there's been so many demands on just people remastering it, remaking it, whatnot, doing a sequel. But it's one of those games that honestly, I never want to see anything change about it. Really, just like if
Oh,
you bring it, like
Mhm.
you can bring it up onto the different systems and whatnot, just as like nice background. But the the love that you share for this game is like
Mm.
it's a whole new level. Like
Yeah.
backstories, the history.
Everything.
You've even started writing your own little kind of side thing too with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a breakdown of what the original characters and such were in it. But I'll tell you, PlayStation was that specific game was so ahead of its time. If you look at the animations and such, it was ready for PS2. Like it was amazing what they did with this game back then. Tons of hours put into it. There were talks of even making sequels. They had it lined up, but it got canceled due to different issues that were coming up. But yeah, so amazing. So it was like a platform, and it kind of got overshafted by Final Fantasy series back then.
I think a lot of games got overshafted
Oh, yeah.
when Final Fantasy
Oh,
VII
yeah.
came out,
Mm-hmm.
but that game had the most unique battle system.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't name any like RPG turn-based game that has like a timing system like that.
Yeah, it had the timing for it. It was literally like they had moves like one of the examples, let's say, would be Volcano. It was a move called Volcano, and the objective of this game, you could turn it on to where it would automatically do it for you, or you did the quick time events. So you would have to, you'd see a big square come in, and it would just kind of go in, and as soon as it would meet the little square, you would have to push the X button. So then each time you would time it so it would go with each of the slashes. But each move, if you kept mastering that to a certain amount, you kept actually hitting the moves, it would master it to the next move. So each move would get harder and harder as it went. So it's just awesome. So it's a nice little turn-based difference to this game, and that game is just top tier, underrated game.
Here's one question I actually have, which is kind of well, you probably would know better than I would, but that game in particular, I remember when you press any button in that game, it was on point. Like there was no delay in it. So now let's go forward in time here, and we'll go to the new modernized Legend of Dragoon that's released on PS5, which I purchased. Why can't they make old games as accurate, like remaster, like how they do it, like Legend of Dragoon? It's the base game, but if you were to to attack in the Legend of Dragoon, and then you would be have to be on point, but it's delayed when you press the button. It's delayed. Why can't they master that now, but then they could?
Yeah,
I think it has to do with the.
When they did that, I think they just wanted to get it out on the PS4 and PS5. I don't think they really cared about getting the timing right on the additions.
Go ahead.
Same thing.
Real quick.
Some of that also has to do with the simplicity of the memory systems back then, because Legend of Dragoon was on a very simple framed system. It didn't have to go through so many channels for that alignment. It was just straight cut. Okay, does it time meet? Good to go. But nowadays there's so many pathways when it comes to, it's called like circuitry planning. Has to do with how you program games and such. Nowadays it has to go through so many more channels that they have to link up this high definition timing to go with a very simple button system. I think that's part of the issue, but like you guys said, it could also be they wanted to get the game out and get the money for the nostalgic version of it.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed on that part, is I was like, well, if there are no releases on the PS4, PS5, they could have like made sure that was right.
Yeah. Now here's something they could possibly do. Do you remember whenever, I think it was Guitar Hero 2 or 3 came out, they had something where you could actually sync up with, because this is whenever whenever like big TVs or like these flat screen TVs and stuff were coming out. LED TVs and whatnot were coming out. So you're kind of getting used to these. It was like you were used to these older style, just kind of pixelated style games to go into a smoother finish. So what they had done with Guitar Hero is they actually had something that came up where you could actually sync it to what your TV was doing.
Yeah,
So
calibration.
it would actually calibrate it. So if
That was
games would
smart.
kind of implement that in older games, that'd be something kind of cool to go with. But
Mhm.
yeah, it would like sync up. Like you would like sit there and you would actually have to time it, and like you'd make sure everything was hitting right. Because the issue
Yep.
with
Right.
Guitar Hero was you'd have the colored bubbles come down to the lines, and you would have to try to hit it. Well, it wouldn't sync whenever you're trying to fret. I think is the word, right?
Mhm.
Or strum. Sorry, not fret, strum. Whenever you're trying to
Mhm.
strum, so it wouldn't sync up too well. So now, like, if they were to try to implement that to maybe those games, which they really shouldn't have to, since now everything's kind of going into a digital, it should be able to like sync up with not with that. But I think the problem is like all of you were saying, it's they rushed it out to try to get more of a nostalgia thing and trying to get sales.
Yeah.
Because backwards compatible is how people want to play these games nowadays, which is cool. So whenever you come out with something like whenever what was it, the remastered version of Crash came out and stuff, like
Yeah.
yeah, like I remember Kata telling me a while back, it was like he used to be a master of this game, but it seems like something's off whenever you're playing this game. Like,
Yeah.
or
It's not the
it's like
same.
that.
hold
It's
up.
pretty good.
I got disconnected for a second there. 1 second. Let me make sure I'm still going live.
Yeah, there. I see you. You're getting a little bit of a wheel, but there you go. It looks like it's.
I gotta make sure it's still live. It looks like it's still live.
Yeah.
Those in chat, if we're still live, let me know. If you're unable to, can somebody on their phone in here go in and just make sure everything's running all right? Make sure we're all synced up. Just want to make sure because this happens for some reason. I'm still kind of getting used to it. I'm still new to the whole streaming thing, but
Yeah.
You're still alive. You're good.
Yeah.
all right, cool. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, because I saw a little disconnect. Some of this stuff I can't see, so whenever I'm playing games and that happens, I can't see it because you're focusing on one thing and I'm trying to look over the next screen over, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was in live that entire time. I literally had a whole bunch of good content. But anyway, back to who were we on? Katakarthik we were on.
Yes.
Yep.
Katakarthik.
Yeah, we were talking.
Well, we were talking about just like the input delay on,
Yeah.
say, like the
And remasters.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
Crash Bandicoot. But Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
did pretty good. But I think, or not Crash Bandicoot. Ratchet and Clank. But actually, believe it or not, I think Ratchet and Clank was more of a simpler, less reactive game than like Crash Bandicoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the remaster was good.
I never actually played the remaster. I played the original back in the day.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, good game though.
Yeah. That was never one I really got into, but I'll tell you one I put a lot of hours into, and I know a lot of people have, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's another great place.
That game was so unbelievably hard. We put hours until we finally beat that thing, trying to get the Meteor Black Dragon and such.
yeah.
Oh goodness, that was hard.
Yeah, you had to fight the same duelist over and over and over again till you got the cards. That's how you were able to unlock your cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. If you're
one
just
card at a time.
if you're just popping in now to the stream, we're pretty much just talking about just games and like how we were brought up with games and just games in general. So if you have any questions at all in chat, you can just let us know if there's like a game that you would like to see if we knew about, and if we didn't know about it, it's something that we can also look at too in the future, which would be very cool.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in just seeing everybody's opinion just on how they started up. Like if you were in the early days of gaming to the modern days of gaming, it's amazing where we've just gone from to you have all these just AAA games and whatnot out, just high, like just visuals and whatnot, but some games just kind of went more towards let's keep we have downloadable content and whatnot, like, which is cool and all, but it's like
paywalls.
Yes, paywalls and whatnot. Yes, but back to what we were discussing about with like kind of like some of the remastered games, like you had Spyro come out, you had You had the Ratchet and Clank, you had Crash Bandicoot, but
Mm-hmm.
you have the Tomb Raider ones, which I haven't, which I've been thinking about doing because they had Tomb Raider remakes come out or remasters come out, and I think they were done by Aspire, if I'm not mistaken, which also comes down to one of the most controversial remasters because it was definitely pushed out, but I still enjoy the game. I try to hop in there and whenever you can actually play it, but it's the Battlefront Classic Collections.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so whenever that game came out, it I knew that it was going to be like, especially with the multiplayer aspect, that it was going to be it was going
Yep.
to struggle hard. I knew it was going to
Yeah.
struggle hard because back in the day it was tough to even get into anything online. They had online, but that's back whenever you had to plug an Ethernet cable in the back of your PS2 in order to play.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have really good internet to really play, the game was it was just real, just everybody was frozen. It
But
just
the
Mhm.
beautiful
didn't
thing
work.
about Battlefront, you didn't need to go online to play that game.
No.
No.
You never did. You
No.
never did. It was so much fun just to play by yourself or with split screen. I mean, you didn't need the online idea. But to be honest, I think games lost not value, but I can't think of the word. I think games were much better before we had all this online play,
Hmm.
because I think older games were more driven with story and actual gameplay, compared to, oh, we want to be able to make sure that we can play this online. It's just it just, to me, they were so much better when you didn't have to deal with all that.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'll
like
tell
it
you.
seems like it's more of a quantity over quality anymore, and that's how it's
Feel I
always
feel
been.
I feel like this day and age with like how like with technology, with the internet, game companies have a little bit more room to ship out an unfinished product because they know
Mhm.
they can just patch it later with
Mm-hmm.
with games back in the day. It's like, okay, if we don't like fix these issues, there's no way we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was
We have
more.
to ship it out like that, and we'll get
There
bad
was
reviews, and it'll hurt our company. So I feel that had a
there's
big
more
impact
passion.
on.
Mm.
There's much more
Yeah,
passion.
Yeah.
Like,
They had a
even
lot more to lose too.
yeah,
yeah, that
and,
too. Yeah,
and even
they could
recently, like,
fix our mistakes.
yeah, and even recently, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and I'm not gonna say anything bad about the Telltale games, but the new recent, well, Walking Dead really, other than Telltale, didn't have many good games. But the new recent game, because I love Walking Dead, my brothers know that it's like my all-time favorite. I collected the comics, blah blah blah. I know a lot about it. But the new game that came out where you can make choices, there was so much hype. Well, it was short notice to actually figuring out it was coming out, but you can make choices in the game. So much potential for a game that followed the actual story of The Walking Dead, and you screw it up and you make it feel like a PS2 game, a game I'm like not PS2 in a bad way. It's so
Mhm.
bad I like it. It's bad. I don't understand it,
Mm.
but with all the tech they have, they pour into it. It's the same company that made the Gollum game.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Gollum, and there was
Or,
a
or
Kong
it's a
too.
Kong game, and they were given an opportunity to just what people wanted, to change a story in a good show that I feel was, again, my favorite. But
Yeah, potential.
give you an opportunity, and they don't even have cutscenes. All it is like pictures, and then
Yeah.
bad acting with occasional similar actors. Like, I know, for example, the girl that played Beth,
Mm-hmm.
she's in the game.
Mhm.
And then
Sarah Wayne Callies is in it.
yep, Sarah Wayne Callies, and so is Carl,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
and it with what they had, they could have done better. It's kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah.
like I said, though, yeah, it may be disappointing. I do like the game though, because it is The Walking Dead, and after, but it plays like an old game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a
Mhm.
lot
so
of
much
people
potential.
put it out as they released a PS2 game for the PS5 and Xbox. What are they on Series S or whatever?
And let's be honest, if it came out back in the day with PS2, it'd be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the backlash with Battlefront, they wanted better graphics. People wanted better graphics, all this kind of stuff for Battlefront. But Battlefront, nostalgic Battlefront, is better than the new ones. Let's face it.
Oh yeah.
I will say that Battlefront was defining for us. I mean, that's where we got our names originally.
Mm-hmm.
I remember coming up with the name Straxville, coming up with Yava Trooper and those things. And
oh, mine, I don't use it anymore, but it's Cosmoball.
That's right.
Yeah. It's just those style games. It with the technology we have, you would think it would come out just with perfection, and I can see the disappointment that came out with it. But there's a lot of people like it was really made like we had it on the PC, like you could play it on PC, so you really didn't have to worry about the collection coming out. To me, it was more for the nowadays console players that can't play it, like Xbox people, PlayStation, Switch people. They can now play it. They didn't have the access to it. And what's cool is it's bringing back couch co-op and couch versus, really. And that's what's cool about back in the day is you could have all your friends there and you're just like insulted them to their face and whatnot and getting angry at them. Like, it's just some of the cool things that have come out with the couch co-op days. You're just like you wanted to share that with everybody, and that's why a lot of people were looking forward to the multiplayer aspect of it, and they wish that why couldn't you just do this? You have the technology at your hands, do it. Well, it came down to they hurried up and released it. Like one of the things was the inverted axis, so say up was down and down was up. They literally forgot to apparently click a little button that says show this icon, so that way you could change that. Well, now it's on there. The aspect that they changed the loading screen, instead of it being it's in Battlefront 1, instead of it being it's it went to and you're screwing with people. You're screwing with people's nostalgia during that point, and I can understand the anger that came out with that game. But all in all, though, you're never gonna get that special feeling you had whenever you first picked that game up. It's like you want to share that with people that weren't there for the release. They're like weren't even born whenever it came out, or they were just too little to play it, and then they finally got to playing it. But PS3 and stuff that all came out, so you couldn't really play it anymore. So, but that's where it reached down, which I can understand a lot of people's frustrations with it, and I won't ever sit there and be like, I know you should have to like this.
So what was the actual most recent game that you were actually excited for? Like, I mean, I get, oh yeah, I want to play that, but actually excited for?
Yeah, for me, it was Sons of the Forest, hands down. The Sons of the Forest, because I started with wanting to play the original Forest. I loved that game, and then when I went to boot camp, I missed out on all that time and in the bandwagon where you could start streaming it and such, but. Sons of the Forest, I was looking real forward to because they had done such an amazing job on the first one. I was very excited to see that. For me, that one it would be.
Yeah, me most recent I have to go for. I would say I couldn't wait for Power World, but I've only played it one time, so that shows how much. But I really don't have like 100% recent game that I can think of that I was excited for, even though it's not really a new game, it's just a remaster. I was really excited for the classic collection. I could not wait for this. I was just prepping myself up for it and stuff, and like I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it, but I can see like during all those times the internet and like the internet issues that it had, I could see that, and I can see why it frustrated. So but yeah, that was probably my most recent most hyped time for games.
So my most hyped, believe it or well, actually you will believe it, because you knew what type of person I am. Jurassic World Evolution 2. I was very excited for that game.
Yeah. It's
just
not
the
bad either.
Just the concept of being able to make my own park and just bringing back nostalgia in itself and skins and rebuilding stuff. It's just an amazing factor. And trying to copy the old park, which you can't really find an accurate map for the original park. But
Nope.
regardless, it is an exciting game for me. Number 2, if I had to choose, is God of War, hands down. But I love the God of War series. It's so much fun.
The new ones or the
I like the old ones, but I was really excited for the new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, Kata.
Yeah,
How about
the old
you?
one.
How about you, Kata?
Probably I was really excited for Death Stranding when it was released because I'm a fan of Metal Gear Solid. I like his work, and yeah, I got it on the first day. I know it got like mixed reviews. People didn't like it. They thought it was just like a walking simulator because that's what you do in the game. You go around and make deliveries.
That's the one with Norman Reedus, right?
Yeah, Norman Reedus was in there. There was a lot of big name like actors in that game, but I think Norman Reedus was the most well known.
Yeah.
But I liked it because it had like a unique multiplayer system. You didn't play with somebody, but you like helped them in the game. Like you could like build a bridge or for somebody, or if they started building a bridge, you could like add resources to help make it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Was that what other game did that? That was that Dark Souls or was that Elden Ring? That you could
Dark Souls, you could help people, but you could also go into other people's worlds and just like straight up kill them.
Oh yeah.
What was the other game you're thinking of?
I think the other one was Elden Ring, but I know they made a mod that you could actually you could do a an online split screen or not online split co-op. Because one of the gaming channels I watch, Neebs Gaming, they played it. They were playing. They actually had it. I think it was modded out to where you could actually play multiplayer on there.
So.
Yeah.
I haven't played Elden Ring. I played the first Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but I haven't gotten around to Elden Ring yet.
Yeah. How about a game that you're excited for that got canceled? Which I can't name one if we go back to PS4 because you brought up Norman Reedus in that that game.
I think I know which game you're talking
about. I know exactly.
The demo came out, and I think it was going to be the first big step up for horror games. PT.
Yep.
It was the demo for, was it Resident Evil? Not Resident Evil.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Silent Hill.
In that game. It was PT.
Yeah. It was just
in PT. That game, beautiful graphics, scary. I remember was it a dead baby in the sink or something?
Yeah. I just remember it just kept looping. And I'm like, what is going on? What am I supposed to do?
But it was.
Didn't you have that on your PS4?
I think my brother still has it on his PS4.
So those are apparently worth money if you have PT on there.
I'll have to ask.
They are. All I have is the picture.
That's like the old Flappy Bird craze.
Yeah.
Remember that? If you had a phone that still had that app on it, it was worth like a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
My most disappointing one was KOTOR. Hands down, because I've always wanted to play KOTOR, but I just feel it's like very clunky on like if you're playing on the PC or whatnot. I really wanted to play KOTOR just to see what they would do, but I'm also kind of glad that it got canceled now. It was disappointing at the time, but I'm glad because with how they're doing remasters nowadays, they're not really caring much about the quality. Yeah. It's like Katakarthik said, is they're just trying to push the game.
Give me the money.
So they're just trying to push it out. Like, oh, we'll just patch it later on. No, give us something so as soon as it comes out, we can enjoy it. And if there's stuff that you want to add later on, just patch it in.
Yeah.
Like one of the best ways that a gaming company has done really something like that is with GTA 5. like if you go in there and you're playing this game, they add stuff as you're going. You're not really paying for it. Of course, they have like the horrendous expenses that you have to pay for shark cards for fake money to spend in this virtual world, but it's they have come out with stuff to make things better. Even though whenever the game first came out, everybody seemed to enjoy it from what I've seen.
Mhm.
So now it's just they just come out with different updates and patches instead of coming out with a new game. It's like you were saying that really for Jurassic World Evolution there shouldn't be another one. They should just keep adding to the one that they have currently.
They have to. They might
Yeah.
as well. They should. I mean, I think they're doing that with Flight Simulator. I'm not sure though, but they keep on adding additions to that game. But that's all they need to do. Okay, perfect example of a game that I love that they always update and they keep at it, and it doesn't need a sequel.
Mhm.
Is Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Does
that's
not
another
need a
good.
sequel.
Yeah, very good.
Does not need a sequel.
No.
With I mean, they're doing what they should do with this type of thing. I mean, they just brought in. I mean, I don't know if it's the most recent character. I haven't hopped on it a little bit, but Chucky,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
first third-person killer or character in the game.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
well, no, killer,
Yeah.
and that game is just it's good. I mean, it beats out definitely beats out like Friday the 13th. That
Oh
had something
yeah.
good going.
Yeah,
But
that's another prime example of a bad. It was really bad on release because whenever that game came out, you had to wait for an hour. Me and my one buddy we played the crap out of that game, and
Mhm.
we would sit there. I think the longest I had ever waited in that game in a queue to get into a multiplayer game was probably an hour and a half, almost 2 hours,
Mhm.
just to play that game just a little bit. And whenever you played it, it was such a fun time. But what killed that game were people were just exploiting it and they just stopped caring about it. They're like, we're done. That's what killed that game. People would glitch it to where like all the survivors would be flying in the air and you couldn't kill them. Or there would be people because this is how Dead by Daylight did it better than them. The problem with Friday the 13th is they didn't have the killers on a separate thing. So whenever you were in there with your friends, everybody would have like a random kill. Would be a random person would be the killer at the time at a time.
Yeah.
And what had happened was people that were in parties and stuff, they would sit there and they would just tell where everybody was at, so you would lose the fun in that. So they finally were trying to. I think they were trying to figure something out to fix that, but it was just too much that they didn't feel like doing it anymore. So it stopped. So they just stopped with the game. They stopped caring about it. So that's where whenever Dead by Daylight came out, because they were trying to align it to where Dead by Daylight would come out before Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th hammered it out. So that's why
Yeah.
Jason hasn't been in there. They have the Trapper, is it? That is
Yeah.
actually
Yep.
Jason, but it's not Jason. So whenever
Yeah.
that game came out, they knew where they were going already way before Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th wanted to push it out. So that's whenever you got horrendous. You couldn't get into a game for hours. Whenever you finally got into a game, people would be cheating in there. Be like, oh, he's over here. He's over here. I was in one game. Me and my buddy were playing. And he got killed, of course, so he was just sitting there just watching on the screen and everything, and I was still alive. We started noticing this one person was working with Jason, so he would go and tell Jason where everybody was at, and he would actually try to lock him in there so with Jason alone. It's funny, but it's annoying whenever you're trying to finally play this game. So
Toxic.
I finally, because I knew one of the glitches in the game, in order to beat this game, to beat the people that are cheating, I glitched through the wall and they couldn't kill me, so I pretty much waited till the time ran out and it was done. So sometimes you had to be the anti-cheater.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to be the protector of the night back in the. It's just.
I'll
The
give
hero.
yeah, I'll even give Dead by Daylight credit with story. I mean, yeah, you're like, oh, it's just four survivors and a killer, but the backstories, if you ever sit down and read them for certain killers, like the characters specifically that they created,
Mhm.
it's good story-driven material. It really
Mhm.
is. It's good. I give credit for that to that
Mm.
game. They're doing it right, and I think there's a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
games that need to take
Oh
note
yeah.
and understand, hey, this is how you make games now. You don't have to create something new. You can always add to it.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it is crazy where games have gone to. Like one game that comes to mind whenever it comes like old days really kind of broken whenever it came out. I remember Mercenaries 2 on PS2 was kind of broken. It wasn't completed because they were trying to push to get you to buy it on newer consoles. So whenever you wanted to play, like there was like an extra mission if you got a PS4 or not PS4, PS3. And that was one of the games that like, oh, I couldn't wait, like what we could do with this game. Oh, you have the only way that you can actually play this level is if you were over on the PS3, so you have to get a PS3. So I guess it was more of a marketing scheme than rather than broken, but still it'd be nice to kind of have the like some people they didn't have that access, so you're playing these games like, oh, I got a PS2 so I can afford this game. Like pricing and stuff of video games and whatnot back then were like $40 for a game.
Mhm.
Brand new game that came out, $40 compared to what is it now, $70.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's how they were trying to, okay, if you really wanted this you had to buy this. So and I remember some of the glitches in there. There was a few Medal of Honor games, which Medal of Honor was my probably favorite war series, like just first person war series. Like I loved it more than Call of Duty. I'm probably gonna get some hate for that, but I loved it more than
Mhm.
Call of Duty, especially the earlier ones because Medal of Honor. I started out with Medal of Honor Rising Sun, but then I went back to play Medal of Honor Frontline.
Mhm.
So with
Front line,
yeah,
yeah.
so Medal of Honor Rising Sun, me and my buddy back in the day, we would play this game. We would have you had to where you could turn the bots into harder modes. So there was like
Mhm.
4-star bots in there. So it would just be me and him against I think it was let me think here 5 bots, I want to say it was. Me and
I think
him
it was
against
around 5.
5 bots. And we would just master it. That's how we were mastering it. So after a while of playing that game, I just was so good at this. I just started playing more of it. So I went back to Frontline. And the first level, you're on Normandy Beach. And they
Yep.
made it to where whenever there were like explosions going off to the side, you could hear the coming past you and whatnot. But the explosion going by you would shake. So you're sitting there trying to take out stuff in the gun nest and stuff. So you're sitting there, you're trying to compensate. So that's like the first time I was introduced to like whenever they're really trying to push like realistic aiming in games. So you're sitting there just trying to be patient. And as I think I was probably 9 or 10 at the time, maybe even older than that. I just remember being so impatient, like I'm trying to shoot them and I can't. I couldn't get it. So it was a fun time back then. And I remember later on we were playing. You should remember this, Spaghetti Yeti. Remember whenever you and our one buddy were playing against me? You're like, oh, we'll be able to take them out. It's just 2 against 1. And you were trying to rush me and everything. I'm just taking you both out. Like, well, come on, let's go get him. Let's go get him. That game is just like one of my top games of whenever I was a kid, the Medal of Honor series. Unfortunately, it hasn't been continued that I can know of, but it was
Yeah,
a
I
great
can't think
series.
of the last game that came out.
Yeah.
I know it's been a couple years, I
Yeah.
think.
Didn't I in the future pick up Rising Sun with you, Kata?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
remember playing the like against the computer where you have multiple computer
Mm-hmm.
enemies, and I remember playing the one level we would go up in that tower and we would just wait for them up there and just chuck grenades at them.
Yeah, these grenades were like impact grenades. You throw
Yeah,
them down and you bounce. Like for some reason, it didn't impact against the ground, but you'd have it
yeah,
bounce off of ground, and then it would hit off the NPC and poof, we just sit there the entire time. We're like, how
Yeah.
you doing? Oh, hold up, more getting through. Hold on, boom, boom, just
Yeah,
tossing them
we're-
down. So that was just some fun stuff we
yes.
had.
Yeah, we were just being camping assholes. in
Yeah,
that
we
game.
were. Yeah, we were, but we're like these guys are too easy whenever we just go out there. So let's try to challenge ourselves a little bit. So we just say, poof, poof. We were just
Anybody
kinda-
can camp. You
Yeah.
guys can't just stay up there and
Yep.
camp.
now.
So that's strategy.
Not fear.
Yeah, some like nostalgia feels that I have is like for the Half-Life series, which I need to finish. Like I love the Half-Life series, and I would watch my one buddy play it, and then we would play. He had this. They of course had their gaming PCs, but like they had one laptop that we were able to play on. So
Yeah.
I would go on there. It was like I want to say a 98, 99 lap. I can't remember. It might have been a 2000. But this
Mhm.
laptop was just one of those nice big clunky laptops you open up and stuff. And remember playing Half-Life on this game, and I was just like, oh wow! And like we would
This is
challenge ourselves
incredible!
because like we thought that back in the day this game was super scary, so we'd turn off all the lights in our room and just sit there and play this game and just be freaking out. But now I look back and I'm like, wow, this isn't that scary anymore. But parkour in that game, that is what killed me back whenever I was a kid. I just it couldn't compute to me. I'm sitting here like, what the hell? So yeah, so like I'm still like that. You saw me in my recent one, how many times I had to reload and go back into playing this game. So I do want to pick that I want to pick that up real quick because that's just nostalgia feels and go through that entire series because I have the entire series that I know of so far. So that's what I can't wait for. But
You weren't a big fan of VR either.
no, me.
when
I
it first
still
came out.
Like even to this day,
I let you try it if you remember.
Yeah, even to this day, I'm still like iffy because it's just like okay, this is on a whole new level to me. Plus, you can only like most people can only play it for an hour, then they get a headache.
Mhm.
Me, I'm like 20
I-
minutes.
I played the crap out of it. But Beat Saber, I think I remember showing you,
Mhm.
and you're
Yeah.
like, "Holy crap! I can't even do this." It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, all right, I am an OG with Guitar Hero. This cannot be that hard. Oh shit! It was me the
Decisions
entire...
were made, mistakes were made.
Yes, and I just remember screaming to her, like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do
I
this."
think that's the first time I think I ever thought I was better than you at a game,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
other than Jurassic World Evolution.
Yep.
But that's because that's like my baby.
Oh yeah.
And then probably Flight Simulator
Okay.
because I'm just becoming a pilot. Okay.
Here's something for you. Here's some. My critiques of your parks in Jurassic World is great.
You need to do a series on this,
I
okay?
do.
I am sorry. You need to have him post it and just roast him.
Like literally, I go in there as like I'm like these consultants, like in the first Jurassic Park film. I'm a consultant. Well, all right. Oh, so we're just driving through here, and you got just dinosaurs walking across the path. That's safe, huh? Oh, what the hell is it? Of course, I'm a little bit more.
I could watch hours of it. You need to do this. It
Yeah.
needs to be a thing.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there critiquing him as he's playing this game, and he's like, "Stop it." I'm like, what the heck is this? You see, whenever I went down here, I just jerked my neck. Like I'm inside of this freaking vehicle going down this hill, and it's going down, and then it does a quick jump, and I'm like, "Oh, see, my neck's broken now. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna have to sue you now? See, I do not endorse this park. I do not endorse this park." And he's in here like,
And you know what's funny about these? I make a new park all the time, and I don't finish them because he critiques them.
He
He's
keeps
just like,
coming
"I give
back
up."
to me. He keeps coming back to me, and I just keep giving it to him. So it is a pretty funny moment, and I do need to do that
record
at
it.
some point.
Record it.
I do need to.
I'd honestly have to get the computer version of it, but I play the crap out of the PS5 version.
Not
Hey,
unless
it's on sale right
hey,
now. Just saying.
Hold on, not unless I get this capture card working. Once I get this capture card working, you don't need that. You can literally just plug it into my computer, and I can sit here. I'll be sitting here. You'll be like, okay, what do you think of this? Oh, this is terrible.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then something really stupid will be good.
Yeah. No,
And he's he's not watching me build it. I build it, and then he comes
he's
and
touring it.
randomly.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey,
I'm
do you want to check this out?" And I actually take a car and I have him tour it, and I go through the
He's
whole
so
entire
proud of his
park.
work.
He's so proud. He'll have one where like, okay, I'm just seeing walls right now. I'm bored right now. This is like not seeing the Dilophosaurus at the beginning of the Jurassic Park film. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I don't see anything yet. Seriously? And then like we're finally over in front of this. Like we have a nice little look down there. I'm like, where's the dinosaurs at?
Like the music sucks.
These are like giant ass dinosaurs, right? Or you gonna have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? So yeah, I critique him pretty hard on there, and I do it for my own enjoyment because I'm just that.
Oh, you should do it for others' enjoyment too. That's pretty funny.
I should. I torture the heck out of him.
No.
But yeah, I don't know why he keeps coming back to me though. I must be a pretty good consultant. He's like, one of these days I'm gonna impress you. One of these days. And
I can see you as an old man. You're laying there on your deathbed. He's there. All right, my brother. I finally think I did it. What do you think of this park? And you look at it. I think. And then you just die.
or he's in his coffin, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go build this park now, and the coffin lid just shoots up, and Rob just like sits right back up.
Terrible.
The hell you are.
At his funeral, it'll be like this. I have to go and give him a little speech. Here's a letter that my brother wrote me before he died.
Your park
His
sucks.
dying words. His dying words. Your park sucks.
But yeah, so and it's not my first time when I ever like reacted to something. So it was like I want to say 3 years ago. We were over at my mom's, me and Kata, and she was watching LMN, I think it was, and we're sitting here watching this thing, and I'm sitting here critiquing this thing, and I think I have you over there laughing so hard over there, Kata. We're just, like both of us are kind of doing it. So like you have an example of like this one girl's pissed because of this other girl is dating this one person that she
Well, you
wants
talk
to
about
date.
the Hallmark movies.
Yeah. Was it the Hallmark or the
those
Element?
movies? Those movies are intense.
They are.
Like,
And yes, you heard it here. Yes, I'm watching these and I'm just like, okay, I gotta critique this somehow. So like, one of these days I'll have to just like have like a timestamp of me just reacting to these like crime dramas on Element.
You just gotta do like live critiques.
But
let's go back.
But yeah, let's go back to games.
wait, we're talking about gaming, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got a topic for you. All right,
Real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Real quick. So Yava and I were playing DVD one time. This is when I had PlayStation 4, and we have a buddy, I Kill You, and he was in there, but he quit early. He disconnected because he got I can't remember. I don't think he got mad. Was it a rage?
It wasn't a rage quit. It was
I Kill You. I Kill You. If you're watching this live, if you're around, just I don't remember. You might remember the reason. I don't know if it was a rage or if it was something going on. You reported something. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was OP. So Yava and I have a tendency to befriend killers. But this one's completely on him. So I got first death, like just first kill. He just automatic kill type thing. Took my picture and everything, and my body just lay there in the dark in this asylum thing. And Yava and I were talking, and Yava comes over to my body, and he starts teabagging it. And then all of a sudden you see face look, and then go into the room that's next to us. And I actually had a photo of it. I don't know if I can actually pick it back up.
Ghostface,
but
let's see if I can.
Ghostface, Ghostface literally peeks out of the window, watching him teabag me, and then he escorts him to the exit.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, you should have never left this. I Kill You. You shouldn't. This is just this is epic gaming right here. Literally, I befriended, and I did it. I didn't do it once. I did it multiple times. I've befriended the killer in Dead by Daylight. What I would do is I'd go up and be like, I'd go up to one of the bodies and just start teabagging him real quick, and then like what I was doing here is I would teabag the body, and I'd start going towards the generator, then like I'd be like, hold on, he might be coming back. So I'd run back over the body and start teabagging it again, and he'd be like, making sure I'm still there. Like, you're still there, right? So after a while, he befriended me and he let me escape. So that was one of my strategies in Dead by Daylight, was to befriend the killer, and I did it multiple times. Like, you can ask them. There was times where I'd do it like 4 or 5 times in a row. I don't even know. I wasn't even trying. I'd go over and be like, okay, let's try to see if this works. Like, hold on, we're cool, right? We're cool. Well, nowadays it doesn't work anymore. Everybody wants
Should
to
we
kill
also
you.
talk about your awesome stealth abilities?
Oh yeah.
Oh
So
no, that's so wrong.
Okay. So after a while,
It is
like,
so wrong.
okay,
So people, please be advised. It is
Yeah.
wrong, but
What's the character's name?
who was it? It was, I can't remember. It was Dwight.
he was
No,
a
not
police
Dwight.
officer.
No,
He was a police
he was
officer,
one of the
right?
police officers, and it was one of the doctors. So what I would do is I would just kind of go around I would just like, because back then you could really hide in the shadows. You could really hide in the shadows. So I was able to hide in the shadows. So for the one, I would do it really well on multiplayer, but I really did it well one time. A group of us were just doing a custom game. It was just a group of us, and I'm playing Spaghetti's the killer. You were
Was I the clown? I think I was the clown.
Yeah,
He
you
was.
were the clown.
He was. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it was so funny.
you were the clown. And what I would do is I would hide real quick. This game, I kid you not, chat, went probably for like 2 hours of me
Trying to
literally
find him.
hiding. It took one of my own friends on my team to pretty much help Spaghetti find me. He was getting
That was
so
hilarious.
frustrated, but I was too prideful to give up.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did it. So I was
Yep.
hiding this entire time till I finally got spoiled. And
Now the character was of the darker complexion, but he was able to blend in. I wasn't able to see. Plus all the dark mist and all
And he
that
wore
stuff.
the darkest clothes he could.
yes, I cheesed that game so hard, and it was great. And
He used camouflage as a strategy in the game
Yes.
to break the mechanics.
yes, and then they decided to fix it to make it brighter. Okay, come on. The killers are OP. Give the survivors something.
That was ingenious.
But
And actually, I really hope IQLU is watching. There was also when we played DBD, and he was the cowboy.
Mhm.
And for it was really foggy. You know, we were actually on the actual Western map too, where I would just hide in a locker, and he couldn't find me, and I would just keep on going around. He'd go back and forth. Like I said, I wish he was here because he'd probably be able to share some stories in there too. But he's like, I can't see anything. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It was a real good time. It was funny.
oh yeah,
I remember we did a Scooby-Doo run once where we all stuck
Oh,
together.
that was
And
one
then-
of the
Cheese it!
greatest strategies.
Cheese it!
Well, so
Yeah.
with the Scooby Doo run,
He's
Uh,
on to us.
yeah, what we would do is we'd be all in this one big group, all together, one generator. And then as soon as the killer came in, we would scatter. Everybody would just scatter. The killer would follow
In and
one-
out
yeah.
all over.
Yeah. Killer would follow one person, then somehow lose that person. We were like,
Trying to
"What?"
get another one that ran in his way.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of our we had so many strategies with that game, and then we kind of stopped playing for a while. Now it just seems like it's just harder and harder with all these different killers coming out. Like you had Ghostface, which was the one that was peeking around that corner at myself, making sure I was still teabagging Spaghetti. Don't worry, I was. There was what was it? What was the one? Legion? I think it was the one. That one was OP because it had like some kind of move that you would, if everybody was on one generator, they could track wherever you were at. Earlier days was Freddy. Freddy was really OP. As soon as you had them inside of your dream world, you saw exactly where everybody was at. That was one of the most OP killers ever.
Mm-hmm.
But Ghostface and Legion were pretty OP. Now Chucky, that is some
That-
freaky stuff right there. I don't know if any of you that are in the meeting today have actually ever played against Chucky.
I have.
Me and Captain Bo were playing this game, and I'm nowhere near Chucky, and I'm still hearing footsteps. You can hear footsteps even though Chucky's over on the other side of the map. You can hear it because I'm literally on the Jenny, just like just fixing this thing that I hear. I'm like, what the heck was that? I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna run and hide. But he's not here, so I go back over and start working. Then I hear, son of a, where is he? No, that doll is probably the most fun I've had against an OP killer because they just cleverly did everything. They had what was his what's the actor's name? It's Brad Dorff. Brad Dorff.
Well,
he reprised his role in there, and I think also Jennifer Tilly reprised her role because if you get another skin, you can get the Tiffany skin too.
Oh, cool.
So you can play as the two different versions.
Yes.
So, but yeah,
Yes, it is fantastic.
yeah. So all you hear, like, if you're ever playing and you hear the footsteps, I don't know if they're near or not near. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a good, it was a good time against an OP killer. So,
And I remember introducing you guys to the twins.
Oh, that's just wrong. I hate
that
the
was
twins.
evil. They were OP, and you're like, oh no, they're fair. No. You can literally station.
Just jump on our face, starting, to face beat us to death. Like,
Yeah, you can
And then
literally
he'd screech.
station this tall other twin of yourself at one point of the map, and then you could turn into this little itty bitty, like, I guess it's like a Siamese twin. I don't know what it is, but anyway, you could turn into this
Evil.
small little thing that's running around.
It was
the entire map.
adorable. What are you talking about,
This was
guys?
Like a little
evil,
chihuahua
and this
of
was
death.
OP. Okay, so what would happen was as soon as you would cross paths with the other twin, you, as the little one, you could teleport yourself back over to where the twin was. So you could switch to two. So you literally had all aspects around the entire map. This thing was so OP. They got rid of it. They got rid of the twins and made it Chucky. Because they pretty much
No, the twins are still there.
They're not available anymore, I think, as purchase.
Oh, I already have them. So
But I think if you already have them, you can fight up against them. But they, to me, were so OP.
I love the twins.
Evil.
But of course,
Hey,
the
here's-
survivors have their own rules. So go ahead, Strax.
I got another fun topic for you. In your opinions, what was the golden age of Halo?
No comment.
Reach.
No comment because I didn't play Halo.
Reach.
Yeah.
Reach. I love
Reach?
Reach, Halo 3. That was,
The golden age.
yeah.
I would
It
probably
really was.
guess. I would probably guess Halo 3.
I loved Halo 3.
Hmm.
That was the first Xbox game I ever played, and that had me hooked.
I just remember all the hype behind it.
We had gotten
Actu-
so good at that game.
But I thought you were more hooked on Fable.
I played a lot of Fable too. I was very good at Fable. Trying to get 100% on that bad boy.
Fable.
Spent a lot of hours. I liked Fable 2, and I will tell you, you asked earlier like what game you were most hyped for, but what about the game you were most hyped for and disappointed you? Fable 3 was one of the games that disappointed me the most.
Yes, I remember.
I
that
was so hyped for that because I loved Fable 2. And then got into Fable 3 and I was like, wow, this is not fun at all.
Oh, it's
It
good.
just-
one. Here's one. What's everybody's favorite co-op game?
And we
Mm.
didn't finish. We didn't go through Strax's.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
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 We'll finish that, but after this,
Yeah.
remember this
yeah.
point. What everybody's favorite
We'll
co-op
come
game
back. Okay.
Yeah. What were you most hyped for, Cathartic, that disappointed you?
Probably I didn't like Last of Us Part 2 that much.
Hmm.
Not
I actually enjoyed that
not
game.
because of the story. Like I like the gameplay and everything, but I don't know when they switched to Abby and tried to make her like seem all like good and that she was doing the right thing. That just like fell off to me.
Hmm. Kind of crashed on you.
I wasn't upset that spoiler alert, I guess, that she killed Joel. That didn't upset me. It was just like I didn't like how they just like switched to her halfway through the game.
Hmm.
That felt just a little off to me. But
Off pace. Especially a main series character like that,
yeah.
Another one that was really disappointing, I think, was Ark Survival Ascended. Like, I never really got into the Ark series, but I was like, okay, maybe this will give me a chance to start fresh, enjoy it, and try it. I got it, and my goodness, was I so disappointed. Don't get me wrong, it looked beautiful, it looked great, but the first 2 minutes, game crashed. And then another half hour into the game, it crashes again.
Yeah.
It was so disappointing. I was looking forward to it.
Is that like a completely new game in the
Yeah,
Ark series?
it just released
Okay.
about 6 months ago, 7. How about you, Yava?
I would honestly go with. I'll say Power World for right now. There's a lot of games out there, but Power World was one of them that I was really excited about. But I think I just kind of got like whenever I kind of got in there, I was just like kind of I wasn't really enjoying too much as I thought I could have.
Mm-hmm.
Great game. It could have been like even better, but I was just I wasn't as I was kind of disappointed in it. Not because it was like a disappointing like broken game. It was because I overhyped myself for it.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. And Spaghetti Yeti?
Battlefront, the newest, like not Battlefront 2, but Battlefront.
Oh, this recent release?
Oh no. He's talking about the first of the remakes of the Battlefront series.
Yeah.
Like the cat.
That one was
Yeah.
that one was a little disappointing. There was a lot of things.
Spend your money on a roulette.
Yep.
Actually, that was actually 2, but Battlefront just is kind of disappointing. It was like a step. Yeah, graphics were good, but it was a step down from Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
Yeah, because they gave you the. I remember whenever it came out, they gave you that like, oh man, we're finally getting a new Battlefront. Is this going to be like? And it just turned out to be like a few battles in there that you could do.
There was so much hype for that game, and that's why I feel like it was probably the biggest letdown for me. But yeah, I mean, can't compare to the originals.
Yeah.
It really can't.
The sad part about Battlefront is in the second one they made it worse.
Yeah,
but then
they made
fixed it.
They fixed it, yeah. But the sad thing about Battlefront 2 is that's when they started. Oh, hey, you want to buy this to be better? Type crap in their video games, which is completely stupid.
Yeah.
And actually, on a side note, didn't you? Someone was telling me about the where you're not going to own your games anymore, and you have to do there's certain things you have to pay to be on certain games. So yeah, you buy the game initially, but then if you want to play it, I think isn't there like a monthly thing, Bobby? Or something, I forget.
No,
something going on with it.
So what I was saying was pretty much whenever it comes to games, like if you're doing downloading games, like that, what is it? I can't think of the right word. If you're not doing hard copy games, the game isn't actually yours. They all
That's
actually
ridiculous.
say that none of these games that you buy, like they're not yours. So like, say if they pulled it off of the store, they could technically take it away from you. The way that I understood it.
That's ridiculous.
But don't quote me on it. Do your own research, of course. But from what I've understood, that is how.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there's a game company that's really gonna be pushing it. I can't remember if it was Ubisoft, but they pretty much are like, these games aren't yours. So if we get rid of them,
I mean, just theoretically speaking, what would happen, say, if Steam or GOG went out of business? What would happen to all those games you bought?
And you pretty much
you don't
have.
Well, let's think about it. Let's think about it a whole. You don't really own anything, even the physical copies. Just think about if there was a big giant solar flare and it just knocked internet, electronics out of no cars. I mean, we really don't own anything, even our vehicles. I mean, we take everything for granted, which is the truth in everything. So we don't really, like I said, we don't really own anything.
Yeah,
we don't.
But I mean, with physical copies, at least, like you have it unless they put up a restriction where you can't just play that game somehow.
Well, I'm sure there could be
Yeah.
restrictions, because if they delete the game from the store and stuff, and they can completely wipe out the existence of the game altogether, I'm sure they could do something to do that.
Well, look at like PT. Like I know it's like if you didn't really buy the game and everything, but pretty much that game is non-existent anywhere unless you
Yep.
had it on a
Yeah,
PS4.
unless you still have it.
And you didn't uninstall it. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have had it. If you
Yep.
uninstalled it, that's where
Yeah.
nope, no good, no
So
luck.
that I don't know if
Yep.
that's how it's going to turn. That's why I said, of course, everybody in chat that and anybody that's watching this in the future, do your own research, of course, because I can't 100% speak for it because I don't know 100% on how true it is. But from what I've understood and from what I've heard, that's pretty much how it is. Your games aren't your actual games anymore.
Now, if they do that in the downloaded version, like you're saying, then they need to make it cheaper because that's not fair.
Yeah, that's
You can't charge the same price for something that you would own, but we can take it away at any point. Then you need to change your prices around because that's kind of BS.
Yeah. Now, from going off of what you just said, Strax, that's another big thing right there. Is what they're charging you for just you're not even buying a physical copy, so you're not paying for the shipping, you're not paying for the store space that where it's at. You're not doing all that stuff. You're not paying for the packaging, the disc and whatnot. You're just buying it digitally. Is the word I'm looking for. Digitally.
Yep. So why is it the same price as the physical copy? That makes no sense.
To my understanding, I heard the rumor was that they want to launch this at Grand Theft Auto 6. Is where you can buy the game, but you won't own it. And that's where I think they said they're gonna have. I can't remember if it was monthly payments if you want to play the game.
They're saying you subscribe to it. That's bull crap, to be honest.
No. Yeah.
I'm paying you for a service to play that. That's ridiculous.
They just want more money, essentially, is what it is. It's a money grab, and I mean, let's face it. The first start of it was, at least I think it was Battlefront 2.
It's going to take the people stepping up and saying, "Hey, we're not going to buy it. We're just not going to do it."
It's pretty crazy though that with how games manipulate the mind, and they do. There's people that just buy skins.
Yeah.
There's people buy skins. They're not buying anything. They're just buying something.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'll be honest. Dead by Daylight, I'm buying, like Chucky, for example. I'm buying the gameplay, but you're also buying the skins. I mean, for survivors, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, be realistic, but if you like a game enough, you're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy from it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's crazy how games.
It's also a mind game. It really is.
Yeah, the gaming world in whole has definitely changed a lot. Because coming from what was the first ever Easter egg in a game, it was. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was off. I think it was in. There was a movie that recently came out. I think it's Ready Player One. I don't know if any of you've ever seen that movie. It's a good movie. I do recommend it.
Yeah, I've seen Ready Player One.
Yeah. Well, it's like the first ever Easter egg in a game or something like that. It's just amazing that you have these small. It was like a small little dot or like a note from the developers or something like that. It was the first ever Easter egg in a game. To where you have multiple Easter eggs in games nowadays, and then like the way games have been released from back then, where they actually showed a lot of care. Because if this game came out and it wasn't working, then you're done. You're done as a company. Same with just whatever was added on there. You just came out with sequels back in the day compared to they just come out with DLCs nowadays, which isn't bad, which is actually a pretty good aspect to have, where you're kind of bringing out these new different ones. But if you're having updates after updates after updates, like some of these updates and they end up being more gigs than just normal just download for a game. So you end up you lose that much more space, and then you have to go out and buy another thing. So it's pretty It's pretty amazing where games have gone
Yeah.
from however long ago it was till now. Just like you had from going from a bar literally going up and down shooting a ball across Pong to look at what you have nowadays. AAA games that are just you're expecting so much out of them. Then you have remasters that come out that you're like, okay, if they could do it on these big companies and stuff, well, why can't they have this come out and be perfect? So it's just the evolution of how people really care about what they're making and stuff and what it's going to consume to their back in the day it's fans, now it's just consumers. Really.
It seems like there's also, I mean, not all games, but there's a lack of passion for for games anymore.
I
mean-
have to disagree with that. A lot of like the smaller, not say like indie companies, but there's games out there where you can tell that.
Well, that's what I
you can
said. I
put
said there are some
heart
games.
into it. Okay.
Yeah, there are some games like God of War. I think that story is fantastic. And they put a lot of time into that game. But there's a lot of games out there, like with big names, that don't have as much passion as they used to. And I think
a lot of companies get complacent. Like I think they just go off the brand, like Call of Duty, for example. I feel they're just
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed too. I feel like they're just going off the brand that they can shove out whatever, and they know the consumer will buy it.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's where the lack of passion comes in. But like, if you play through the new, I recommend it to anybody. If you play through the new God of War games, they're excellent. I love them.
Yeah, I haven't played Ragnarok yet, but I like the first one.
It's so good. I love it.
I need to play through every single one of them.
They took Kratos. He was like a unapologetic killing machine, and now he has a son he has to take care of, and now he's all like
he's an old man.
Boy.
Yep. Boy.
Back in my day.
Yep. But let's go ahead. I think we went through all of your points, right, Strax?
Yeah, we hit them.
Oh yeah.
So now let's go to favorite co-op games from everybody. So we'll start with Katakarthik.
Favorite was the Nazi zombies in Call of Duty.
Okay.
That was fun.
Those were so fun to play with just a group of friends.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're like just every single one. Those are ones that kind of eventually just went to where it was just they're trying to go story wise. Whenever you're just trying to survive, as long as you can. Longest survival that I've done on my own, I want to say it was like 38 or 39 by myself. My one buddy had left his house to go drop his girlfriend off. An hour later, came back. He said, "You're still playing?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm just running in a circle on Kino der Toten, the theater map on Black Ops 1.
Remember the strategy you had to use? You had to make a crawler so everybody could run around and do their thing, hit the box up the pack a punch.
Reload everything. You had to leave one alone.
Yeah.
So that game,
when somebody would accidentally kill that crawler, they'd be like, "Oh, what the hell?"
Yep. Oh, what did you do? Oh crap! Now you're in round 36. Now you got 100 zombies. Oh, I don't have any ammo. But then of course, if you're at that rank, even like fully upgraded ray guns it's like you have to do an entire clip against them. After that, you're just using traps. You're just going around using traps. So like. That was definitely one of the. It was you could play with all your friends and stuff. Of course, it was only four friends, but it was still an awesome time in gaming. Just to see how long you could go, work with your friends. It was a good time. Good. That's a good choice, Katakarthik. I like it.
Yeah, very good.
All right, Spaghetti Yeti.
Let's go back to the olden days. You guys probably remember the name of it, but it was the Army Men on Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Where you can play 4 players and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, you can play on teams or against each other. but
Oh,
that's
nice.
probably my favorite co-op.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're talking about that one like Sarge's Heroes and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sarge's Heroes, and that was where you.
And another one would probably be Bomberman.
Okay. Oh.
Oh,
What was that? Was that
Oh.
What was that one you picked it up? I have it here somewhere.
Yeah,
the
I
one
did
we-
pick it up.
Like that collection or something.
The
like
one we
that.
played the crap out of.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Took
Yep.
us forever to figure out how to use the powers and everything in
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
But once we figured it out, we love that
Anniversary.
game.
I think it was Bomberman
Yeah.
Anniversary Collection or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that
I think
game
I
was
sold it
amazing.
for 25 cents too.
Oh wow, nowadays it's probably worth a million times. So, well, with my co-op game, that one of my favorite co-op games will always be Rising Sun. I
Yeah.
loved Rising Sun's co-op because you could play campaign with another friend and go through there, and like you were working with your friends trying to defend Pearl Harbor. You were doing all that kind of, it's just working with your friends and stuff, and then of course going on and playing against the bots and stuff. That was one of my most favorite co-op times. And
Yeah.
it was just nice couch co-op, and that's where I loved it. Like, just you could play with your friends right there, and you're just, what are you doing and whatnot. So yeah, I'll always go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then let's just go with favorite single player
so-
campaign.
That's my turn. My turn.
I keep skipping Strax.
I don't exist. He doesn't love me.
Ah.
Or is it
Guys,
my turn?
Yeah.
Man.
Wait, I thought
And
you already said
now it's
Sarge.
now it's back to Spaghetti Yeti.
Yeah, no, Strax. Go
I was
ahead.
I was actually gonna say what is the best up to date system, or not up to date, the best system that just holds its
Well,
quality today even.
Yeah, we're
If
gonna
you know
get.
what I'm
I still
talking
gotta
about.
get-
Yeah, we still gotta get. Yeah, we still gotta
Consoles,
get.
consoles.
We'll get to that whenever after we get Strax's answer to his favorite co-op game.
Yeah.
We keep doing this to poor Strax. Will.
What did I do? I quit.
Oh,
All right.
darn.
So for me, it's two different ones. One of which I played with I Kill You a lot, and that was definitely Halo Reach, but it was Halo Reach specifically the custom map features.
Oh yeah.
So we used to play like zombies, things like that, of course, but we used to play games like Ice Cream Man and things like that.
Ninja
Or
Max.
he and I would work together to do double jumps. We'd do ninja.
Mhm.
And by double jumps, I mean when you played live multiplayer, we would double jump ourselves to illegal places. I mean, granted, it was still beatable; like he could still get us, but it was fun. But we spent hours playing ninja games, trying to figure that out, even building our own maps together. And we had a lot of fun doing that. And there was a lot of puzzles. But the other one I liked, I played with a friend of mine from work, was Magic the Gathering Twin-Headed Giant.
Mm.
We spent hours trying to build decks that work together to take on these other teams. And I remember specifically we'd have these unbeatably awesome strategies, and the computer used to conveniently draw the perfect cards every time to thwart our plans. And we used to go, oh, how convenient. The perfect card to destroy your plan to dominate me. Like we would
I
have these
remember.
amazingly elaborate built strategies that were like impenetrable, and they always picked up the card to trash
I
us.
think I walked
was
in
great.
one time when you were playing with him on that game, and I remember hearing how convenient.
He and I, yeah, how convenient. As we would play, it's like there's no way they're getting out of this. We got this next turn, and they would always get the card they need to destroy the whole plan
Yep.
and turn it around.
Yeah.
So, like, my hat's off to the developers for those games. They made it so that you couldn't just trash them. But there were times, like, when you play games, you just want to trash the opponent because it makes you feel strong and good. But no, it was funny. It was real funny. Anyway, those are my two.
RNG, right, Strax? RNG.
Yeah. No, there was no RNG. This was
this
RN
was literally-
fixed.
Oh.
I am telling you. Like, when I say we had impenetrable plans, they always had the perfect card to thwart it. It was great. It was good old fashioned I hate the computer game, you know? Anyway, that was mine. Let's go to, I guess, his topic or your topic.
The console thing of
Yeah.
all time.
So what was it again?
Yeah, repeat the question.
The top console of all time, like the one that just holds to this day. Even it could be older or it could be now. I mean,
I'm gonna say PS2. Just there's
Mhm.
just so many
Mhm.
classic
Mhm.
games on there. Plus, I'm a Sony fanboy, so I'm a little biased, but that's like has the most memories and nostalgia for me. So
yeah. How about Yava?
Oh yeah, that it will always be the PS2, always.
Yeah.
Like, it just it still holds up, and like you can play that game nowadays too. They have like you could do it, like you can stream from that. You can do whatever you can from it. It will always hold up. Just so many great games came out for the PS2. Like you had the Battlefronts on there, you had the Medal of Honors, you had the Call of Duties, you had the Alien versus Predator games, you had Alien games, you had Predator games, you had Area 51 that remastered, re-released on there. Well, really a remake on there. Resident Evil. It just, the sky's the limit on the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, everybody can argue too with Nintendo. They had all
Yeah.
those great games too, but like PS2 is just like most people from anybody. Like, oh yeah, I had a PS2. That thing was great. You know, I remember the first time whenever whenever you got the PS2 for your birthday,
Mm-hmm.
Spaghetti. We were
Yep.
playing Driver 3 on there.
Oh, Driver
Oh,
3.
yeah.
They're just it's
There's-
just if you look up nostalgia, there's definitely a picture of a PS2 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
other ones in there, but that's definitely on a list of most nostalgia like game consoles, really. Like, but yeah, definitely.
How about you,
PS2.
Strax? PS2.
I mean, I'm kind of towards. I, I don't know. I think PS2 was probably the best. It was way ahead of its time. It was backwards compatible. It was the first time really you could hook up to the internet and go with friends if you could even afford that commodity back then. It could play DVDs. It could do so many of these things, and it was a time in PlayStation's history when they were really, really booming. Kind of set them apart.
Yeah.
But there's different. I mean, if you're looking at time periods, like best consoles and stuff, another one that I really liked was probably GameCube for Nintendo. I mean, later, yeah, the Switch is incredible. Don't get me wrong, but we're getting into handheld territory there.
Yeah.
That's like a crossbreed. But that specific one, I remember just opened up a lot of the friend play at home co-ops. I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
probably could have brought this up earlier, but like Double Dash, for example, my buddy and I used to play that so well that we broke the game. I remember one night I was up on like Red Bull or something. I have an almost unbeatable Yoshi Circuit Ghost with that game. And I remember Melee, you know, we used to talk about, oh, how can we unlock Mewtwo? And then we would just leave the console running for overnight, and then we'd get Mewtwo automatically unlocked. And we got so good at that game, we were almost untouchable as a team. Like we just, and I remember you two would attempt to play it, and we would just trash you, and it was fun. But that specific console did a lot of things that a lot of people didn't even know did. It had hookups for the bottom to do extensive things. But yeah, for me, it was PS2 and definitely GameCube. And don't get me wrong, when like Xbox 360 came out, that was cool and all, but now, you know, it doesn't last. You can still run your PS2. You can still run your GameCube, you know, and it'll play the games that you put into it. Whereas today, you try to play, like the other day, I tried to play my Xbox, it won't play the game because the things in it die. And
Yeah.
I would have to say, yeah, probably PS2. I'm with you guys, is the greatest of all time. And for me, a close second was the GameCube.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Strax mostly, like second GameCube and PS2. But I will just give a nice small shout out to 360. That is probably, well, in my opinion, other than like obviously PC, is probably the best system like that Microsoft has made. Is the
Yeah.
360.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't played the new, but it's just so expensive. And that's the thing. Back then, they made the console semi-affordable, you know. But now it's like buying a console. You're buying a whole new PC. When I can get a PC, customize it, update it, and keep it
Yeah.
going forever, you know, rather than hope it doesn't break and.
See, that was
pay
the
that
original
price.
plan I heard for PS5, is they wanted to get into, you just have to buy parts.
Yeah. Yeah, that you could plug into your computer or
Yeah, they
put in
wanted
there
to
for
go
your
like
graphics.
the PC build is what they wanted
Yeah.
to do. They wanted to go more towards a PC building style, so that way, okay, we don't have to worry. They just have to rebuild it every so often. But
Mm-hmm.
that means they're gonna get into more of the parts market. So
Yep.
they're definitely gonna be expensive on their parts. Trying, okay, we want you to update it. So well, now they got what is it, the PS5 Slim now that just came out.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a nice little. Yeah, it's cool what they're doing, but
Mhm.
I more went towards PC gaming as of late. So
Same. Yeah, it's more flex.
Let me ask this question: what would everybody's favorite handheld console be?
Ooh,
Game Boy Advance
that's a good one.
SP, Game Boy Advance
I
Mhm.
remember.
SP.
I
love
still
it.
have my SP somewhere.
I miss my SP. I think that was one that I traded in for a new DS. But that
Mhm.
SP just was top tier to me. It was like
Yep.
playing Pokemon. I think I had Ruby
Yep.
on there because whenever I first got my SP, it was for Christmas. Both me and Strax got one.
Yes, I did.
Mine was silver and yours was blue.
Yeah, bluish purple,
Yeah, bluish
that
purple.
color.
Yeah, and I had gotten Ruby and he had gotten Sapphire, and we were playing that together. I'm like, yes, I
Oh
finally
no,
got.
I had Ruby too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, yes, I have finally gotten it. But then I remember at that time I had that gen from Ruby. I moved it the whole way up to I think it was 3DS or something like that. It was all the
Mm-hmm.
way up to Pokemon White. I want to say I put it up, White and Black that came out. I put it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
where my original Ruby team is. Swampert, all of them. I don't know if it's still around. I don't know where it's at. I think I gave it to you, but I think I gave one request, but I don't know if you were able to save them.
Mm-hmm.
If not, it's okay. It's virtual stuff,
Oh.
but it's I had my Swampert team, my original Elite Four team that we're going through that entire time. I think I went from Ruby over to I want to say it was like what came out. Did Leaf Green and them come out for that after that? Was it?
Yeah, they came out right after
Yeah, I
that.
think I moved them to Leaf Green, then I moved them to I think they came out with Emerald. I remember moving them to
And then they had
there. And then
Heart Gold.
yeah. Then I moved them to Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Then I think I moved them to Diamond, is the one that I had. Then I moved them to it was Black and White, and that's the last one that I can remember where I had them. And I literally moved them the whole way back from day one that I had a SP on Ruby, and that was just.
You could take them further if you got in on the bandwagon, but they got rid of like Pokemon Move and stuff. I was actually just trying to do that.
Yeah.
But if you didn't download it in time, like I have half the components to do it and half the software downloaded, but
yeah,
now
yeah. I'm definitely going with an SP because it brings back the best memories because it was something that I could also share with Strax growing up as well. I was able to play Pokemon with him, and I think eventually you got one. Did you get one too, Spaghetti, or you were kind of out of the handheld?
I was a little older. I didn't really have the handhelds.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a handheld, this is how bad it is. It'd probably be the Switch.
Yeah.
But
that's not bad.
the only
system.
other than that, I would say my Game Boy Color, which is the only Game Boy I actually really had.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
That's
okay.
I was afraid you were going to say Sega Saturn.
No, I never really had a handheld. So
yeah, other than the Game Boy.
Yeah, but that was the thing. I got the PS2, and you guys got the handhelds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know the story of what happened with my Game Boy Color, my purple.
Yeah.
We really wanted to get you that PS2 for your birthday. So we put everything together and we're like, yeah, we'll do this. And we ended up doing it. And it was, to me, the greatest thing that we could have done. And to this day, I'm about to bring out, we still have this console. And it is literally right here as I speak.
Still works really well.
Still works very well. Bought it, what was that? I think it was like a month or two after the release of PS2?
Yeah, we worked hard to get that.
Yep. And I still have it to this day, chat. It's right here. Covered in dust, of course, but it still works. 100% still works. You still got beautiful little...
It came out in 2000.
Yeah, so I think we got it about 2000. Maybe, I think 2001 or 2. No, it would have been later than that.
That thing was revolutionary when it came out.
That was your birthday in PA.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yes, this is the original PS2 that...
It came out... Works. It came out in Japan in 2000.
It's a little dusty, but still works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still here, and eventually, once I get everything working, I'm hoping to do the gaming, actually gaming off of there and streaming everything on there. That's what I'm looking for.
I didn't know that GameCube came out a year after.
Yeah. Oh, GameCube was so great whenever that came out. So that's where
2001.
Didn't you save up for the GameCube strikes?
I did, and it took me a bit, but when I finally got it, it got that silver one, and it had the silver controller, which I think I still have here.
Yeah.
And I remember I got Melee with it because I used to play it over my friends, and I just loved it. And got that, and Double Dash were the two games. And one of my all-time favorites was the what is it? The Golden Door. Something. It was Paper Mario. The Golden Door, which I hear they're re-releasing.
Oh, I love that game. I hope that game. I remember playing with my one buddy. No, that's a very, very good game.
I have that still sealed. I have that. It's amazing. I have all those with everything in it. So, fun fact: I still have every console aside from the PS2, which is there, that I've ever owned, from start to finish. The original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, 3DS, the SP. Then the one in the original DS.
Sega Genesis. You still have the Sega Genesis.
I still have the Sega Genesis. I have the PS1. I have the Xbox 360, the GameCube. I have the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch. I think that's all of them. And then I have all the games that I ever had with them because I couldn't stomach going to GameStop and saying, yeah, here's my console. And they'd be like, oh, here's $5. And you still got to pay us a whole bunch for this next console. I could never stomach that. So I just kept them. And what's interesting is those old ones still last. The newer ones, like the Xbox 360, had I have traded in all that stuff to get, it doesn't work anymore. I have to send it out to get it fixed or try to get parts to fix it so it'll work. And that just goes to show you, like, and prove the old adage true. They don't make them like they used to.
It is amazing the difference on how quality of the consoles have been through. But it's gonna kind of get a little icky. But that Sega Genesis survived me of getting sick and on there, and it survived that into this day.
Let's not censor ourselves. Throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It runs the games
crazy.
beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh, something else that's interesting? The Legend of Dragoon and a lot of PS1 games run better on the PS1 than the PS2. Because I've tried running some of the game discs in a PS2 before, and they've gone slower. But when you put it in the PS1, it works beautifully, which is absolutely crazy to me. But then, like, the PS2 games run beautifully in the PS2. So it's interesting how that works too.
Very, very smart with how because that was a 4-disc game. So the objective was after you got through the first disc, you had to take the disc out and then put the game back in. And so the way the ingenuity that went into making that work had to have been a very fun process for them.
Mm-hmm.
Being able for it to actually schedule to stop and then open up. But so we're not going too much away from the last question, which was what's everybody's favorite handheld. I think I went first, and then Spaghetti went next. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did Strax and Kat
Luke-
go yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kata.
I really like the PS Vita.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
really good RPGs on there. I think that was its main focus. But I think Sony didn't put like enough effort into releasing games on it, and
No.
it kind of fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
they were
didn't have
getting
much-
trounced by
Still have-
Nintendo.
Yeah, it kind of.
Yeah,
didn't
Nintendo
advertise.
was the dominant market, of course.
Yeah.
But I also do like my 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Glad I picked that up before do they still make the 3DS? I'm not sure if they do.
No.
It's
No.
discontinued.
No,
yeah,
it's now everything's released on the Switch.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah, they don't have
But-
any handhelds, do they? Not anymore.
Besides,
That's what the
Sorry,
Switch
not
is.
that.
It's
Stream
it's
Deck.
both a console and handheld.
oh yeah, I think it's only
Yeah, Stream Deck's the only thing kind of really competing that I know of.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
But it's not. It's kind of like at the PS Vita. It's not really known much about. It's still up and coming, so it's not going to be able to play some big games like if you're
Yeah.
playing Ark and stuff. So it's going to struggle with that. But it literally looks like a Switch.
Yep.
But it's a
Mhm.
Stream Deck. Strax.
That's definitely a hard one. When it comes to handhelds, I'd probably say it's that's tough. Probably the original DS when it came out, just because you had the Wi-Fi capabilities with it,
Mhm.
and you could trade over distances. You no longer had to hook up link cables, and then you could play the old games in it as far back as Game Boy. You could plug it right in and play them.
Yep.
So it was like a nice generational one for me, but I'd have to say probably the DS. And then 3DS came out after, and it was great. But that one I just remember specifically, like the not Final Fantasy. What was it, Fire Emblem? You could play on that, was fun. Then I remember there was Baby Mario and Luigi Time Warriors or something like that. It was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Of course, Pokemon. Everybody had that.
Oh yeah.
But specifically that one, because I just remember it was such a pain. And then I could have our versions of it, right? And I could trade Pokemon over and get the link trades that I couldn't get because I didn't have any friends. I'm just kidding. Friends that played that game specifically that I saw regularly. And it could just be mine without risking losing it or whatever. Yeah. So
Speaking of Pokemon, Kata, we still have to play.
Yeah, that's right. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
tell a story. Yeah.
Last week we went to go see Godzilla Cross Kong. Of course, I talked about that so much because I still want to talk about the. But anyway, we went to go see Godzilla Cross Kong. So before we were waiting to go see it, we decided, you know what? Why don't we just go over to the local hobby store we got there? So we're in there kind of walking around, and then we walk over to the Pokemon section. And Spaghetti here is like, oh, we want to play some Pokemon and stuff. Like, oh, yeah. So Kata, and then they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. Let's see where we get. So they bought my first Pokemon deck cards.
We're pretty sure it's for
Spaghetti.
6-year-olds.
Spaghetti bullied me into buying it. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So,
Nice.
so I'm sitting there. I'm like, I want to get a deck, but I'm pretty sure if I got those decks, it would kick the crap out of their decks. But
Do you notice the pattern, Kata? I mean,
You
even
bullied me
even with your
into
even with your personal entertainment system. I mean, it's me. It's me. It's not you.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
Spaghetti is vicariously living through Kata Karthik.
Yeah. Well, I'm just surprised he's not over every day. Well, Spaghetti helped me pick out a new TV. So,
Yeah, I heard about that big boy. How
I
big was it
guess
again?
I guess it's got a 65 inch. He tried to buy me a 85-inch, but I was like, I don't need an 85-inch TV for my small little living room.
You want to hear how good of a salesman I am? I was selling the Polk surround sound system to the person that works there.
Yeah, no, he was like, "Wait, why are you trying to sell this to me?
Yeah.
I work here."
Oh, he wanted Katakarthik to not only just get the TV, but get a Polk surround sound, get lights that you shined on the back of your TV and it'll reflect kind of what's going on in the movie itself. He was really trying to go all down, live vicariously through, which is
Yeah.
it's great because it's just funny. I'm like,
Yeah, I kept telling Yava the closest similarity I could think of to Timmy is Jim Carrey and the Cable Guy.
Oh, I freaking love that
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah, we watched it over in San Diego. That was my first time seeing
right,
it.
Strax,
But
Isn't it good
Maybe,
shit?
yeah, Strax,
maybe
what
we should
does-
watch it on your new TV.
yeah,
yeah.
that would be great.
Strax, what was the quote he said about upgrading his entertainment? What was it he said?
I got you the 16-inch plasma screen TV karaoke machine. I got something about and a sound system that would make George Lucas cream in his pants. Oh my God.
So
That would
yeah,
definitely
TV.
that would definitely Spaghetti if he got his way.
yeah, that was Spaghetti Yeti the entire time. I'm sitting here like, Spaghetti Yeti, please don't have him buy this entire store. And of course, he did not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Bill's kind of had a little play in that, huh?
Yeah.
Hell, you even downplayed a little bit. We were gonna get that 85. That was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan.
No, but you talked him down to a 65. Yeah, that's good. Aim big and then miss small.
I am glad you didn't go for the 85 inch. Because can you imagine
That's
us
too much
trying to lift
TV.
that thing up and trying to put it on that freaking, we put it on we wall mounted it.
We would have done it.
Yeah, we would have done it, but then I'd
Fine.
be like, here we go again. So yeah, that was a fun time. But yes, that was the whole from the stemming of the Pokemon cards to this. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go through the last part. Did we go through everybody for their favorite handhelds?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go for we'll do two more. How about that? We'll do
Yep.
one for favorite single player campaign, and then we'll do just favorite game of all time for everybody.
That's
So
hard.
first we'll do the favorite solo campaign game that you've all played. So we'll go ahead and start with Katakarthik.
Can I think about it a little bit? I wasn't prepared for this question.
He's like
Yeah.
fast.
All right. How about you, Strax?
All right, I got you. It's for me, Legend of Dragoon, hands down. Hands down. I could tell you everything you want to know about that game, but what I liked about it is even if I did want to do it solo, I could have a friend play a different character and they would just be the actions for it.
Mhm.
But I'm the type of player, and you know me, I am a very patient gamer. I will take my time and build a character up for as long as it takes to make them amazing. And it plays right into my role.
Note
And
chat. You would be amazed in the excellence in strategy games that this man like shows. I mean, it's amazing. You have no idea. Like, it's probably the best strategist gamer I know,
I love it.
and or probably if you were a competitor, Strax. I mean,
I'm not competitive. I'm to myself a lot, and I can tell other people how to be successful. But
I mean,
in that
in
specific,
Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, I mean,
Mhm.
what, you beat out one of the better people at the time? I forget what years it were.
at the
early
time
Yu-Gi-Oh.
very early Yu-Gi-Oh, about 2002, 2003, going into 2004. So the number one rated duelist in the country actually um, attended the store that I went to, the locals, as we call it. And he was like unbeatable. And at that store, I didn't have very good cards, but I had enough that I could develop strategies around what at the format at the time was beatdown decks. And I created various anti-beatdown strategies to throw them off par. And I was the very first, one of the first, and you probably won't hear about this, to implement a hand trap, which was the Karibo card, which negated damage for a single attack. And it actually won me duels. But he eventually announced in front of everybody, finally, somebody has devised a strategy to defeat me in the years that he had been playing there. And it helped me work my way up to becoming not only that locals champion, but one of the top rated in the country. There was a point for maybe like a week or two, I had the rating that was number one, and then it dropped to like 2, 3, 4, because I couldn't go ever to multiple stores like some folks did and keep my duels up. And we could never really afford to go to the places like nationals or anything like that, which I qualified for. But I just had a lot of fun with that. But the story behind that's even deeper, and one day we'll probably do a stream on that. The reason why I got good at Yu-Gi-Oh! And the whole back on it.
Yeah, you'll probably see that over at Games on Deck if you haven't subscribed or even known about it. Go check out Games on Deck on YouTube.
He's very, very knowledgeable with Titanic too. So that's
very much so. Yeah, I love that.
So if you have a question about Titanic, he'll answer it for you. But,
but more on more on the Legend of Dragoon. It got to a point where like I knew where everything in that game is, the proper way to go through that game to just destroy the opponent. Because it actually is a very difficult game if you're not conscientious about the tools of it and the enemies you'll be coming up on, etc. I remember specifically the wizard. Yeah.
Did you say actually? It is.
It's pretty difficult.
But then again, it's me. I'm not the greatest at video games.
So here's something. I had Strax help me out with this because I had played it's probably been almost 10 years ago that I did my own playthrough on this game. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I want to play this game, so I need to remember exactly where I need to go and everything. So Strax was helping me out. He helped me find all the Stardust and stuff, but he devised the greatest team of Legend of Dragoon ever.
The unbeatable.
And that, of course, you were stuck with Dart. You couldn't get Dart out of the room because he was the main character. But I
can't leave team.
Kongal and
with a legend cask specifically.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Kongal and what was her name again?
Shauna or Maru.
Shauna
or Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda.
Sorry, Miranda.
That's what it was. Maru was the water one, right?
Yeah, she was water.
Yeah. So anyway.
Whoa! Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoiler.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm new.
But anyway, this is the greatest team ever because Kongal is highly weak against magic. So Strax was like, make sure you get the legend cask for this character. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it cost a lot, but it's worth it.
Yes. So I was going through this game, and also I'm sitting here. I wonder who my third should be. I might go with this one. Then Strax told me about the Dragoon power of what is it? What's the actual technical term for the name of her dragon? Her dragoon.
Hers is the White Spirit Dragon, I think.
The White Spirit Dragon. Now it's a healer. It's just a complete healer. You did not need to get any healing potions or anything after you leveled her up. She is OP. It's the most. If you're just playing her base form, she has a bow. That's all. So you don't have this.
And I was like, this is boring.
Yeah. All you're doing is
the single bow shot.
It's just a single bow shot. But whenever you get her dragoon, they did this. They did this on purpose. She has the strongest dragoon because she has something that can heal your entire team up to full health again, and
hurt your opponent.
Yeah, and hurt your opponent.
Her dragon and
clear everything. It was the greatest thing that I ever did. So I was able to go through there without losing one character except for Dart during one part because I screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
I almost went through that whole game without fail. There is a character that you unlock after you find all the Stardust. Which, if you need the locations and stuff, certain somebody in here knows the locations of every single one.
Wait, who do you unlock?
You unlock a boss. The
yeah.
way to fight a boss. Faust.
Oh, yeah, that backstory is awesome.
Yes. Faust is a magician in there. It's just base magic. So if you have Kongal, who's weak against magic, you're screwed.
You're done. Game over.
But you have Legend
Game
Cask.
over, man.
You have Legend Cask. He just brushes it off. He's like, "What is this?"
He's like, "Well, that."
What
Yeah,
is
because
this?
Kongo's got the best physical attack in the game.
So of course I did that. And the last boss in there has magic. It just does nothing but magic. So the Legend Cask, what it does is it negafies, right? I don't know.
Nullifies.
Nullifies that one. Nullifies. Thank you. It nullifies all magic to 0.
Greatly reduces it down to 0.
Yeah.
Well, not 0, but extremely low.
Yeah. It's literally just brushing it off. And you put that thing on Kongal, you're done. Yeah, that enemy's done. You use Kongal, just go, all right, what up?
Yeah. Honestly, I never even used his Dragoon because it's pointless compared to his physical abilities.
So you could like all these specials. So that's why like Straxwell, if anybody here is ever interested in playing a Legend of Dragoon, go check out Games on Decks. He actually plays a few of the campaign. Kind of at time, of course, gets ahead of you in life, which it does with everybody. So, but yes, go check out Games on Deck. He's got some Legend of Dragoon stuff on there, and if you ever have any questions or anything, ask him through the chat and whatnot. Ask me through here. So it's a very, very good choice. I could spend multiple hours on this game chatting with Strax and stuff. Of course, you can't spoil anything for Katakarthik. He had trouble with Madness Hero.
I got it now.
Madness Hero.
I got it now.
He's got it now.
You got it?
I was pissed.
Oh,
I played on the PS4,
he...
and it was messing with me. I'm like, I'm getting this. Why is it registering?
No, what he did is he got the...
I switched over to the PS1 version on the PS3, and I hit Madness Hero every time. I think I missed it once, but that was my fault. So,
I thought that you were going to say that you got the War God's amulet and just let the computer do it automatically.
No, that's cheating. No.
But hey, that is the beauty. Like Spaghetti's saying here, you could play that game with friends, but of course you have to be there. But yeah, what you would do is you could pass off. Of course, it's still a single player campaign, but you can still pass it off to people. Like one person can play as Dart, one person can play as Shauna, one person can play as Kongal.
Or you share Dart and let them play as the other characters.
But everybody didn't really want Dart, so I'm just kidding.
No, Dart's not bad. He's not a bad character. He's very well balanced and stuff.
It'd be really cool to see if you could switch them
shift them out.
Yeah, it's just to kind of see the different, like who would you have wanted to see in place of Dart with one of your teams, you know? But anyway, let's go ahead and get a move on because we are pushing this stream pretty far here. So, did you have plenty of time, Kata?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Wild Arms, which was my first RPG I played on the PS1. Probably because the soundtrack was just excellent. Like the opening theme, just like the overworld music. The graphics aren't up as par with some of the other games that came out like around that time, like Final Fantasy VII, but I liked it. I liked the setting. It was like kind of a Wild West theme styled, but it still had that like fantasy setting too. You only got 3 characters, and that's all you got. You couldn't like switch out with other characters, but those characters were like, their stories were pretty memorable. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, you played through that whole series too, didn't you?
I played up to 3.
So how many are there total?
I think 5.
Hmm.
I might be wrong, but
Okay.
I think 5.
Okay, yeah. So, no, I remember watching you play that game. That was pretty. It was pretty cool looking. It reminds me of Legend of Dragoon, but it's not Legend of Dragoon. It's like closer to Final Fantasy, I would say. But like
Yeah.
Legend of Dragoon, like in the early days, I think of Final Fantasy was about the same almost, except
Yeah.
the only difference was you didn't have that quick timing event.
Yeah. Wild Arts was more like a Western theme. Actually,
Oh,
they took Ecstasy of Gold, which was in good the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they remade it for their overworld theme,
Mm.
which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's cool. I remember just watching. It looked like a fun time. I never was able to actually play it, but someday,
Yeah.
because I think it's on a lot of the. I think it's on PlayStation.
It's it's on the PlayStation Store.
Mm.
Anybody wants to check it out.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right, Spaghetti.
What was the question again?
Favorite single player campaign.
I would have to say God of War 3. God of War 3. I just
Nice.
enjoyed.
Good choice.
Yeah,
I enjoyed just going down the line and killing. Oh,
killing it.
spoilers! just killing the other gods and stuff.
Well, I mean, I know what if that's what God of War is about.
Yeah. But what you actually went, but actually you went down the line and killed all of the Greek gods. I
Yeah.
mean, other than the select few that you killed before that, but and Titans. I mean, it was probably my favorite campaign to play through. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the new God of Wars too. They're really good campaigns, but God of War 3 is excellent, and it's not too long either. But it can be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It can
I
be a
remember
very
getting
difficult game.
stuck on the one part. I think you're like going up the elevator or something, and you're attacked by this like. It was a minotaur. I don't know, but he had like some staff, and
There's a whole
he'd
bunch of
like
them, I
block
think.
you. Yeah, he'd
I
like
know
block you, and you'd have to like button mash like circle so fast, and for some reason I couldn't like break the attack, and he just
Yeah.
like kill me every time.
Yeah, if you haven't played God of War, I highly recommend it.
Oh, that's another thing too. Sorry, go
and the
ahead.
mythology
Yeah, if you like
is
the Greek
interesting.
mythology lore
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my little conspiracy theories and stuff.
Aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, aren't they gonna try to do different? Are they trying to go towards the Egyptian or something like that? Or,
that I think that's their plan, but I don't know if they're gonna go to that.
yeah.
No.
I don't want to spoil the games because I don't think Kata didn't play God of War Ragnarok yet.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So it's so play Ragnarok. It'll be okay. All right.
I was gonna say when he was talking about the button mashing thing, I was like, in Legend Dragoon, I used to have Yava Trooper actually button mash for me because he's like a button mashing king. I was like, all right, look, I need this to be maxed, and I suck at button mashing. I'm just gonna be straightforward. I suck at button mashing. So they, hey, you just he'd be turning around, he's like. It's so unbelievably fast. Like, oh, thank you, and then I take it back, and then I go.
Remember
There's
Telltale's Jurassic
Yes, the Jurassic Park one. I could never get through that, and I give it to you, and you just make it so freaking easy. Like, oh, that was hard. Like, I can't wait.
I remember doing that. I was actually going because it's like a 20 like I'd say like 20
It's a
30
long
second
one.
long freaking you're smashing X as fast as you can to run away from the T-Rex to escape this island.
Mhm.
That moment was freaking you're just like
So I was like, I finally got it gold because I'd always get like bronze or nothing or silver.
Yeah.
And this guy, like, first time I give it to him, he button mashed through the whole dang thing.
Yep,
that was incredible.
That was back. I
Hey,
don't know if I can
Strax.
still do it, but
Yeah.
do you remember the game that you actually used to watch me play?
No. What game was that?
Fight Night Round 2.
oh, you were training him in that.
Fight Night. That's right.
You're
I was
training him
become
in
a
it.
champion, and I was kicking booty at that game.
Yeah. And I had played it for a little bit, and I kept getting owned. I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I was like your manager, but I could never play it. I was pretending to be your manager. All right, we're gonna take on this guy and this guy.
You're going
Went to
out
the
there
cha-
all wrong.
went to the championship and won it, and then I had the title match again, and then I lost.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But that was a hell of a game. I really enjoyed Fight Night Round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
3 was okay, but Round 2 was legitimate.
That's right. I remember that. Fight Night was great.
Yeah.
I suck at it, but you know.
Oh, here's my favorite campaign game of all time, the Arkham series. Love it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Arkham, yeah.
Arkham's a good choice.
Love.
I
that
never
series
really got to
this
play
game.
through those games, but I know that they get really hyped.
I picked them up on Steam. They were all on a deal. I think in total the entire series I got on like for maybe $20-30 on Steam.
That'd be a fun playthrough for you.
Yeah, I started to, but I want to redo it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that series so much. Like it was like the first Arkham was the first time I got all the Riddler trophies, and I tried it again, but I wasn't able to in like Arkham City and stuff. But I love that game. I played every single one of them. All of them are good.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite one out of all of them, Arkham City.
Arkham City.
Yeah, it's very fun just flying around.
Yeah, you're Batman gliding across the entire thing. Is just
There's 4 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and then Arkham Origins. Well, Arkham Origins is technically a prequel, but it's still good.
I'm Batman.
And that's what
I tell you what, for trying to recast for that game, like the actual actors, they did a pretty good job. Recasting the voice actors for Arkham Origins.
They had the one that voiced with Ezio and stuff play Bruce and Batman. And I think I can't remember who they got to play the Joker. I want to say it was DiMaggio. DiMaggio, the guy that did Bender, and I don't think it was. It was somebody else. Was it Nolan?
It was a younger guy, I thought.
Or was it? Yeah, it was a younger guy, but I can't remember who played. But yeah. But yes, Arkham series is definitely one of my tops because I've beaten every single one of those campaigns, every single one. And did we go through everybody for campaigns?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Now here comes the hardest part. Favorite game of all time.
Oh, jeez.
Favorite game of all time. This time, we will be starting with Spaghetti Yeti.
Oh, okay. Well, then if I'm gonna have to play, come back to me, please.
All right, Strax.
Boy, that's a hard one. I mean, I'm sure everybody here is thinking that it's Legend of Dragoon for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Legend of Dragoon is up there. It's one of my favorites of all time. But if I had to really guess, and this is going to sound crazy because a lot of people might not have heard of it, but it would be the original Army Men by 3DO. That was the first really challenging game that I beat on my own. And I'd always, anytime I see that game, I just want to play it. You know, it's just very, very close with me. I spent a lot of time playing with our dad on that game, just years of playing it. And I'd have to say it's Army Men for me. But Legend of Dragoon's up there for me, too.
Yeah. Catacarthic.
I'm about to say Metal Gear Solid for me.
Nice.
Just how innovative it was for its time, and just like the stealth mechanics.
I miss hiding in the boxes or in the lockers that had the raunchy photo. This is just an inconspicuous box. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. Any of you ever play Siphon Filter?
Yes,
I played the demo.
Yeah.
For it.
You played that with your one buddy. I remember you playing it because I remember watching you in the subway scene. Yeah, but no, that's of course not my favorite game, but I'm gonna try to go last here. So Spaghetti.
Only because I play it the most right now is probably my Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time right now.
Oh,
yeah, it's probably my
You've
favorite.
done it. Yeah.
I just love the creativity. I have a creative mindset, as you both know, and that's why I think I like it the most.
Yeah. Yeah. We've
But
done everything.
yeah, that's probably my favorite. If it was ever a campaign, I'd probably have to say it's between The Last of Us and God of War.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm talking like OG God of War.
Yeah. I still need to play through that. I'm disappointed I haven't. And it's not that I don't like the game. I just always never put the time to actually play the game. So I want to play it, but it's whenever I actually decide to actually put. I know. I think they release them on Steam, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're all on Steam. So maybe
I
I'll
might have to play through it again then.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, if I end
Take
up
a look.
if it ends up all being on Steam, then maybe I'll do a playthrough. But I know one thing: I have to censor some things about it because I know there's some things in there.
Let's just say there are some boobies.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna need a little bit of a monitor. Hey, get ready! This part's gonna be a little bit. Maybe I'll have to. Maybe I'll end up doing just a video series of that one, so that way, if it's on a stream, I don't know how that goes with the YouTube guidelines or whatever.
So I have to blur some stuff out.
Yeah, and trying to blur that stuff out live is gonna be hard. So
I'll
I'll have to go back to video format for that one.
The original's on there, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. So the originals and stuff. I know there's God of War Ragnarok.
Goes up to.
There's God of War.
Wait, you talking about the first ones, Timmy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
This
first
guy-
one. Like, there's 1 through 3. I think there's some spin-offs too, but
They still got RuneScape on here. Dang.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought that game was gone.
Oh yeah. Don't get Catacrothic started on.
well, I did start playing it again because Spaghetti Yeti bullied me into playing it again.
You really need to stop letting him.
And then he just never played it. He played it one time and he stopped. I was
I
like,
can't
"Dude,
help
I'm
that
gonna
you-
keep playing it."
I can't help that you get into peer pressure.
Yeah.
He's exploiting you, Cathartic. That's what he's doing.
It's all right. I made it to level 36 and I stopped.
Oh, that's good. Self-control is important.
Yep, that's right.
Wait, what level?
I think 36 around there.
You could do better than that.
Come on, get up to 100.
It's still there.
No, I tried. I knew I was gonna get bored of that real quick because I'm like, I remember back in the day I enjoyed it, but then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You have to level everything up and grind real hard in this game.
Yeah.
But anyway, to move on to my favorite game, or I should say, yeah, my favorite game of all times would be Medal of Honor: Rising Sun.
Nice.
It was the one game I was very passionate
I
about to
know.
play it, and to this day I love playing it. I played through the campaigns. I think I beat it on most of the harder difficulties and stuff. Just, of course, it came with the series. There was Medal of Honor. There was a few before that. I think one released on PS1, but I can't remember what it was called. But I played a lot of that. So Medal of Honor was always my favorite because I was back in the day. I was real big on the war history and stuff, and just seeing all that newer stuff. And I used to look into it, but then the years went by, and I just kind of fell out from it. But it's still one game that I always think about. Just back in the day, just enjoying. Like I love like most games, like Battlefronts and stuff, but Medal of Honor has a special place in my heart because it was one of the games that I was really, really good at growing up too. And I used to be really, really good at just war in general, like first person shooters and stuff in general. And I kind of stopped after a little bit, and then of course life hit. So yeah, that's my favorite. So this is pretty much our entire just thoughts and everything about games, the gaming industry, how we feel about it and everything, and what we think about it, and like our favorites and our. I could just say what's our least favorite game, but it's kind of that's a hard one because I haven't played every single game. So, but that's why you can't really say what your favorite game is until you play one. So, if you've made it this far into the stream and everything, down in the comment section, please put down there just like a game series that you think that I might like, or like just like your favorite your favorite gaming series. Put it down in the comment section. I'd love to see what everybody's thoughts are. Maybe someday that I can go and try to play all these different style games, just to see what everybody's feeling about all these different style games and whatnot. That's what I can't wait to see. So as we're ending this stream now, I want to thank all that have stuck through the stream live. Thanks so much for that. I want to thank Katakarthik, Spaghetti Eddie, and Straxwill for being here big time. Yeah, like it's just, of course, Spaghetti, Strax, and myself were brothers and stuff. We've known each other our entire lives.
Unfortunately, just kidding.
Yeah. And then
It's a sad thing.
yeah, Katakarthik's been my friend forever.
Mm-hmm.
How he's dealt with me for this long, I don't know. Thank you.
How he's dealt with
Oh,
your
we pay
brothers
him. We
beyond
already
me.
told you
yeah.
this.
I know. I tried to get away from that. Thanks.
Yeah, your mom stopped paying me when you moved out, so I had to go to Strax and
Yeah.
Yeti for my payments.
I was like, look, he needs friends, man.
Now you're indebted. Yeah. Now you're indebted to me because you have a cat. So.
Yeah.
But thanks again, all of you. I loved all your points and stuff and everything that was brought up here about games and stuff. And I hope to be doing these kind of discussions in the future too. Of course, I'll be returning to games and stuff. Me and Strax will have to finish up the Alien series. The Alien,
that would be fun.
We have to do Alien. What was that? Stasis Interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I'm so sad about that ending getting cut off. That was so funny.
Oh yeah.
You launched me off of a pad, you son of a gun.
Okay, my bad.
And it didn't matter. She crawled back on board.
Yeah, I do want to have a discussion about the Alien franchise.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Of course, Spaghetti is the one that I want to be in there. But if we want, we can also have Strax in there because Strax has been part of the Aliens, but it's something that we can all have. Katakarthik, I don't know if you've seen all of the Alien series.
I've seen 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3, which I hear isn't really liked.
It's not popular, but it's its own.
It's
its own.
Isn't it crazy how things change? I used to be on Team Predator my whole life, like when I was younger. But as I grew older, I just became Team Xenomorph. I love it.
Traitor.
Like it is so cool. It's one of my favorites. I don't even know why.
So Spaghetti.
And this is just a sample of what's coming up in the stream.
Okay, Spaghetti. You know what we need to do? We need to show Katakarthik on his new TV and his new everything he's got.
Oh yeah.
I have them all on Blu-ray, and then I want to
we need to finish watching the Scream.
Oh yeah,
we haven't finished those yet.
Yeah. But it's crazy enough. I even have the board game for the first or the second movie, so I'm all crazy for Aliens. So
you definitely got to do a horror movie stream because we got a lot on that too.
Oh yeah. We'll be doing a lot of this stuff. I want to start doing these discussions. Hopefully, it starts pulling more in, which will lead me to my next points. Please like the video, and if you're new here, please subscribe. This will help. You'll be able to see more content like this. If you've been in here, you're returning everything. You've been returning. Share wherever you can because that'd be awesome. I'd love to see just discussions, not only with the people that I bring on here, but with chat. Like just seeing people talk in chat about it. That'd be awesome. Just to see all of your thoughts, all your favorite games and stuff. Like, be like, oh, I know that. Oh, that great game. I remember that game. It's like I'll go down the nostalgia. One of the things that we played, like just as a small little tidbit. Strax and Spaghetti, you might remember this. Do you remember a game where you were playing as gods? There were different gods, and it was on this a board strategy style game. And
I don't even know what that was.
I remember it. I can't remember the name. I remember
Age of Mythology.
I don't think
that's what's Greek gods, and
no,
I don't know if that's the same you're thinking of.
No,
it was like Age of Empires.
No, this game was a completely new created game on PS2. Like this was
There's like a
originally-
fire one, and
yeah, there's a fire
like,
god,
yeah.
a water god, earth god, and whatnot.
Like, what do you do? What do you do? In it? Do you,
The premise of this game was like you could play, like the campaign was you picked whatever god, and you went through this cycle in it. So it would be like a board game style thing. So you would move them to the different stuff. So then whenever you would finally get to meeting up and clashing with somebody, you would actually fight them. So you would go in there and you would actually fight them. So the objective was to clear the entire board of the enemy team, and you had to reign supreme over everybody. But yeah, it's like those style games that you either remember playing back in the day, and you really wanted to touch up and just like even brush, because there's so many games I remember back in the day, but I can't remember the names of them and stuff.
Yeah.
But like if there's games that you highly recommend, please do that. It would be
Yeah.
awesome. It'd be a nice way to kind of see the community kind of start chatting and stuff. I know we're still in the early days of the Yava Trooper Corps, which if it wasn't for gaming, for Star Wars Battlefront, I wouldn't have these names, because I remember I sat here with Strax whenever I was a little kid, little wee lad.
Oh, wait, little lad, you were.
Wee little lad. So I remember just sitting there like, oh, what name do you want? I don't want it to just be my real name. I don't want it to be Bobby. I'm like, what do I want? And then I remember the question, what's your favorite planet? I'm like, I like Yava. Why not Yava Trooper? So that's what we did, and that's how the game. Like, it's amazing how this stuff just kind of builds all around and where it can come to.
Well, then why didn't you guys call me Bespin Boy?
Oh, because you were a special one.
No, because
Other-
you chose Cosmo Bowl.
Yeah.
You chose Cosmo Bowl, okay? We all got chose, okay? So
the name chose
yes.
you.
Yep. So again, I want to thank my guest here. Thank you so much for hopping in here. I know it was kind of a last minute decision stream, but
Anytime, Brack.
thank you. And I want to thank to those that have stuck through during the live time today. Thank you so much for sticking through there. And I also want to thank any of you that are in the future and future subscribers. Thank you so much for this. I also want to throw a shout out again to over at the Ray side for the Yava Corner. She was who helped she threw that in. I'm like, because I was sitting there deciding, I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the Yava Corner better than chillaxing with Yava. So I want to thank her for that. But there was an idea too. I think I might do something where I have a stream with all the Yava command, where you'll watch, but it'll be kind of like a little Yava command, like how we can kind of better ourselves and better this channel and everything. So that's something probably I might use the name of Yava Bridge, which was actually from Spaghetti Yeti. That'll be for my Yava command meetings that are actually I'm gonna try to hold on the actual channel itself. So again, thank you so much, all of you, for being here, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are here for the future. As always, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great week, great year, just better all around life. So all of you are dismissed at this moment. Thanks again. Please like, subscribe, share, and we will be back. I think I will be doing a gaming